This week, we're in Bristol to mop the brow of an anxious young doctor as he takes his first step on the property ladder.
He's already making Kirstie's blood pressure rise because he's treating his house buying a bit too clinically.
I can't read what's going on with him.
You react so emotionally.
Yeah, but he comes in and goes, Allsopp is in a proper pickle. At 33, he's a first-time buyer and should be in the perfect position. But there's a problem. He's petrified.
The mere idea of buying has left our doctor paralysed with fear, with no experience and little knowledge of what to look out for. He's come to us for some help.
It's been a bit scary, to be honest. The whole process of buying a place and going through the logistics of finding somewhere and then finding a nice place and then not getting horribly ripped off for the whole process has been, it's put me off.
After years as a skint student, Ian is now a fully trained clinical psychologist and has enough money saved to make his mark and buy. But this one is a panicked practitioner.
I hate haggling with people pretty much. I think I pay over the odds for almost everything. I've had jobs before where I've worked with some really scary, dangerous people, and that isn't at all freaky to me. But for some reason, dealing with bloody estate agents fills me with a sense of utter dread. I'm just the person trying to buy a house, and I feel like a little swimmer among sharks.
They're not sharks. They're estate agents with something you want. Property.
A generation ago, house hunters of Ian's age, they might have been on their third or fourth house by now. And nowadays, there were literally thousands of Ians right across the country vying to get their first step on the ladder.
Ian really needs to get a grip, and fast. He's wasted too much time and money on rent for tiny rooms and shared houses. Time to grow up. Luckily, he has rented in Bristol for 5 years and knows where he wants to be.
The areas I think I want to live are kind of the green, leafy places, but not too far from the city centre, and there's quite a lot of that around, actually, Bristol. That's one thing Bristol's quite good for.
Well, seeing as Ian's a doctor, I think we should adopt a scientific approach to this search. The plan is to encourage him to go for somewhere that needs work, or even buy in an up-and-coming area.
Well, he is a late starter and needs to be outperforming the market.
I lack that hard-nosed kind of cheeky thing that you need to be able to knock people down. I think I'd just be tempted to give the asking price, or perhaps 2,000 more, you know.
It's lucky we're here, but it's going to be tough.
I hope he's ready to take on the challenge.
Can we talk about what it is you're looking for?
Yeah, I'm looking for a place not too dissimilar to where I am right now. It's quite spacious, and I'd like to keep that spaciousness. Somewhere quite quiet, quite leafy, a little bit tucked away from the world, and but not too far from the city centre.
And what are the drawbacks of the rented place?
It's kind of damp and cold, because the walls are very thin. There was a time when you could hear the couple upstairs having sex a great deal, which is not... well, it's not ideal, is it? And also... Also, there's a mouse in the place. I have a little mouse living with me, which is just...
You know what causes that? Eating Vicky's in bed.
Is that right?
I'm not at all troubled by the fact that you don't want to deal with estate agents. What does worry me, though, is if you were afraid of the physical structure, if you thought you wouldn't be able to paint walls, replace a kitchen, etc., etc.
Right. No, that doesn't worry me at all, actually. I'm not massively capable at doing things like that, but I'm enthusiastic about it.
So you're quite happy to go along for the ride with Phil and I, and...
I think so, and see what you've got to suggest to me.
The thing that I'm worried about is that we'll find something... No, I'm not scared. I'm just worried that we'll find something, and if it has damp, or if it doesn't have the right windows, or if it doesn't have this, or if it doesn't have that, it's going to be a problem.
He says he's open to compromise. I think our problem will be finding a house in budget that's not on a busy road, that hasn't got a mouse, or shagging neighbours.
Sorry. Noisy neighbours aside, Ian's next worry is his budget. For a maximum of £195,000, he wants a 2-bed flat with space, light and a garden if possible. In the past 5 years, house prices have rocketed in North Bristol, with more and more people wanting to move here.
This means we've got some serious competition.
I could come and see it at 2:30 this afternoon.
Properties here are selling before agents have time even to print up the details.
So many of the flats that I'm coming up with are all developed flats. They're all going to look the same inside. It's not really what Ian's looking for.
We could show Ian a heap of these, but we wouldn't be doing our job if we only showed him the easy option.
So we've tracked down some stunning properties that will not only suit Ian, but will also add value, allowing him to play catch-up with the market. Remember, he's 33 and a first-time buyer.
But he's going to have to realise that compromise is the name of the game. And our first property means saying bye-bye to quiet leafy lanes. It's on the market at £180,000 and is packed with potential.
This flat is the biggest in terms of square footage that we've got to show you.
Right.
But it's on the busiest road of all the flats that we're showing you.
Yeah, that's really quite bad. This is a road I hurtle down, sometimes at great speed, and other people do too.
There are other greater reasons for bringing you here, and it's about value for money in terms of the square footage here.
Right.
This is a very big flat.
We're determined to show Ian that if he can get over the road noise outside, this flat has lots of promise. It has a big separate kitchen, a light bathroom and 2 good-sized bedrooms. It's also crammed with original features. Great news for resale. But Ian would need to be prepared to get his hands pretty dirty if he was going to do the work I believe this flat needs.
That room we've just come from, I envisage as a bedroom. Okay?
Oh, right, OK.
This paper structure comes down. This paper structure comes down. What we're making use of is that lovely window.
Right.
So come with me.
OK.
So this is gone. All gone, all gone.
Oh, my God, right.
So your sitting room runs from this wall right through there.
OK.
It's across the whole of the back of this very wide house.
So what happens to the kitchen?
The kitchen is there.
Cleverly, in the bathroom.
And the bathroom would be moved, so it's next to the sitting room. No more dark, dingy corridors.
What you want to do is utilise the quiet at the back of the house, create a really good entertaining space, and add value enormously to this property, which I really think that would do.
Right. Is it difficult to change bathrooms from one room
not
to
at all.
Is that not?
The difficult thing is to move the plumbing. Kitchen and bathroom plumbing is interchangeable.
Is that right?
You have to move the gas,
OK.
but that's it.
I do hope we haven't pushed it too far with this one on the road. It's a strong flat, but he's certainly going to need some imagination. Also, I have to hope Kirstie doesn't go frightening him off with too many stories about knocking down walls.
No one should be frightened of knocking down walls, but this flat does need more than a facelift. It would be straightforward and reasonably cheap, but the look of fear in his eyes tells me he just can't see that.
You know, Phil, it occurs to me that that flat for a property virgin is a bit too Pamela Anderson.
Very good.
Hiya.
Hello.
How you doing?
That was quick.
Wasn't it?
Well, what do you think?
I think, on balance, the only bit I like about that flat is the lovely windows in the back. It's just the noise of the traffic would absolutely do my head in, I think.
You made that point clearly at the beginning. We just thought, we've got to throw it in.
We thought the
'cause it's
space.
big.
We thought the
Sure.
space.
So space isn't an issue. Ian just wants those quiet, leafy streets.
Well, his wish is our command, and our next appointment is actually a house, so probably not what Ian is expecting. But as he needs to take a giant leap onto the property ladder, this house and location could be the perfect launch pad.
We're here in St Paul's, which is next to Montpellier, which is next to St Andrews, which is the area you want to be in.
Yeah.
So we're 2 areas away from your favourite, but I think this area will benefit from the ripple effect of what's going on in St Andrews.
And what's the ripple effect?
Improving areas, pushing out and making the areas next door to them better.
If Ian bought here and the buzz of St Andrews spreads, property prices will soar. This end-of-terrace house has been on the market for 5 months, so a deal could be done on the asking price of £192,500.
We think it's got bags of potential, and because it's a house, you get a more traditional layout, which might suit our punter.
This gives Ian 2 reception rooms, a separate kitchen and 2 bedrooms. He even gets his own garden. It may be quirky at the moment, but nothing a good facelift wouldn't fix.
I really like the layout. I like the fact that it's got a huge bathroom, 2 decent-sized bedrooms, your own front door, which doesn't open onto your sitting room.
Well, yeah.
You can strip the floorboards, you can tap dance all night. It's nobody's problem but your own.
Right.
I think that's the joy of owning a house, freehold house, is that you've got complete control about what happens.
Sure. I'm slightly confused about the leasehold, freehold thing, but...
If you live in a flat and you want to change the floor, you're going to have to ask permission of the freeholder. You only own the lease. He owns the structure, the fabric of the building.
OK.
In a house, you're the freeholder. You do as you please.
I've got a feeling, though, that none of this really matters to Ian. He's driven by decor, and it will start to drive me mad. Just a quick lick of paint would totally transform this house.
Is it grabbing you in any way?
It sort of does. It sort of does. Not enormously. I have to say. It's just very oddly decorated. It's not how I'd have it.
I'm a bit of a chicken about the possibility of rain or cold.
Right.
So if you don't mind, I won't accompany you and Phil into the garden.
Actually, it's steep and she's got heels on.
Oh.
So come on.
Hasn't she just?
While I can see that this is hard for Ian, he needs to see that in this case, we're the doctor, he's the patient, and he needs to take our advice.
I don't know what we're going to do with Ian. He's very, very, very conservative about this entire process. He needs to think bigger and think longer term.
Do you appreciate the strength of having something that would work as an investment as well as somewhere to live?
Oh, for sure, yeah. And for someone, this would make a great investment and a nice living space, probably for someone with more stuff than me and with more people in their family than me.
I know it doesn't bother you now, but it's going to bother you when you come to sell it if you haven't maximised all that you could have done.
This is true, I understand that.
I'm not sure he does, you know.
You can take a horse to water.
But you can't make it buy a house.
No. He'll end up in a small little flat.
I know.
That he'll need to sell in 3 years and it won't have gone up in value.
I know. It does make me slightly insane when people won't see that.
You were insane years ago.
But we all knew that anyway.
The more I walk around this house, the more I don't like it, actually. It's just really steeped in other people, and I'm not liking this at all.
So is there any chance of that growing on you, Ian?
I wouldn't say even the slightest chance.
Really?
Actually, no.
Oof. 2 down, 2 rejections. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
With a budget of £195,000, Ian needs to stretch himself now to buy somewhere that will earn him money in the future. We're just not getting through, and to cap it all, our trained therapist is being a bit too clinical when it comes to the search.
But we can't deny that we're attempting a tricky balancing act. We're taking a first-time buyer, trying to find something he will really love, and something that will add value.
So our next property is the Ian-friendly option. It's clean and totally move-inable. It's very close to the centre of town, but on a quiet street. It's on the market at £175,000.
This is the kind of street I think I thought of when I was going to move to Bristol. My sister used to live here, and she'd take me on weekends away from this dreadful boarding school I was in, and she'd bring me here, and there'd be these lovely, gorgeous Georgian houses, and so this kind of does fit that bill.
But for a peaceful lane with his budget, we've struggled with space. Will he cope with the open-plan kitchen?
And the other rooms in the flat are also smaller than we've seen. But it does have a good layout, and that wouldn't need altering. No walls to get scared of here, Ian.
On the raised ground floor, so we get fantastic ceiling height.
It is a nice room.
Now, let's address the first issue,
Yes.
the kitchen.
Right. In an ideal world, I wouldn't have a kitchen that is so close to the dining room. But, you know, it's not a horrendous obstacle. In my mind, I had a bigger kitchen planned, but, as I've said, I'm prepared to compromise on a bunch of stuff.
Now, bathroom.
Oh, I like the bathroom.
With a big window.
It's a really nice big window, and it's a really nice bathroom.
There's wooden floors underneath the carpet right through the flat.
Phil, come on, you know the rules. Nearly all leases say that you can't have stripped floors because it's a sound thing.
If you walk on a floor and the floor is attached to the wall, to the fabric of the building, that's the way the sound moves up and down the building.
Okay.
So if you have a floating floor that effectively floats above the existing one, the sound doesn't transfer.
Okay.
And the reason you could hear that couple upstairs having sex is probably because they had stripped floors. I mean, I used to have a boyfriend, and when I stayed the night at his flat, it was like snap, crackle and pop.
Right.
You could hear... I know.
Can you expand on that? Because that's an expression I've not heard before.
You could hear the breakfast cereal going snap, crackle and pop.
Right.
Nothing else,
Right.
honestly.
That'll be that then.
Yeah, we believe you, Kirstie.
Now here we've got the little study, which is
Okay.
great, and here we've got the master bedroom.
Again, nice big window, isn't it?
Shame it's not a bigger room.
That's not a huge problem for me, I don't think. I'm not
Really?
after a massive bedroom. I'd rather have a bigger lounge living space.
That's what you always say, isn't it? You don't spend that
Much time in your bedroom. No, a bedroom should be light and sunny.
Yeah.
And a place where you want to wake up in the morning.
So what do you think to it then, Ian?
Well, I really liked it. It was great. It's the only house I've seen the only flat rather I've seen so far that I would think about putting an offer in.
Okay.
Oh, great.
We're not surprised he likes this place. It's easy peasy to move straight in. But he could do better. The problem is he doesn't get excited about the concept of adding value. But as a late starter, it's something he really needs to grasp.
But maybe our next appointment will really get the juices flowing, as it has a similar vibe to the last one, which he clearly liked. But this one's much bigger and in tip-top condition. Mind you, it'll cost him. It's 10 grand over budget.
You're in for a treat here, Ian.
Am I?
Well, it's a matter of opinion. Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you feel about the street and...
The street's nice enough. It's on a corner, isn't it?
Which I always think is very good because you get the vistas.
And this is a nicer kitchen than the other flat.
Throughout the last few days, it has become clear that Ian wanted somewhere for here and now and not for its future potential. So this should be a winner.
I don't get particularly excited when I see houses.
Why
like
is
this.
that?
It feels very much like a show home, and it feels like it's all been done. And if I was to move into here, I would camp in here. I wouldn't want to do anything to it, and I wouldn't feel compelled to do anything to it. And being as how the price is quite high, I wouldn't be able to do anything to it.
Well, we better move on then.
OK.
Oh, he's a contrary one.
So you see what we're up against here. 1 minute it's too big, then it's too small, too finished, not finished enough.
You're right, Phil. But I think this flat will have taught Ian a lesson and he'll have seen how short-sighted he's been. There's just no room to A, put his own stamp on the place, or B, make money and play catch-up with the market.
The only one so far that has slightly impressed the good doctor was the smallest flat that had the least potential of the lot.
I'm not prepared to let Ian settle for that, so we've made a final splurge on the blower to all the estate agents, and it might have turned up a little gem.
It's 17 grand over budget, but we love it and have managed to get Ian in the door before anybody else.
And it's right in the heart of his dream patch, still on a quiet road while 5 minutes from bars and restaurants.
But Ian's tough to please and even harder to read. Could this one be the cure?
Yeah, it's really, really nice. From the outside, it's beautiful, I'd say.
And the position?
Lovely. Nice road, nice area.
Did you see that? A smile.
Now, the joy about this is that it's a maisonette, but it starts at the bottom, so you really have the feeling of your own house.
OK, yeah.
On paper, this flat has it all. 2 levels, 2 good-sized bedrooms upstairs, a kitchen, dining room, communal garden and off-road parking.
This flat feels more like a house. It's simply massive. And although it does need some redecoration, the decor's not bad enough to put Ian off.
With some TLC, this place will easily make Ian a profit and be a great space to live in.
It's nice, I like it. There's nothing that makes me not like it at the moment. And it has a view, which is something we've hitherto not seen.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a really spectacular view from almost every window. So, this is your dining room. What do you reckon to that?
Well, it's not something that I require, but I guess it's a bonus.
Now, obviously, there's potential for knocking down that wall and making a great big kitchen diner, which would be lovely.
Wouldn't it just? That'd be with 2 windows in it, it'd be very light.
Go and have a look upstairs, Ian, and see what you think. He's a man of very few words, and he's going to be a man of even fewer words when I finish with him. Unless he starts to show some enthusiasm. I can't read. I can't read what's going on with him.
You react so emotionally.
Yeah, but he comes in and goes, Maybe he loves this flat, but I'm certainly not the one that knows it.
It's a funny little room, but it's, I mean, as studies go, it's great. We have just the most spectacular view here. This is rapidly becoming my favourite flat. Hello.
Interesting up there?
Yeah, it was actually. It was nice. Yeah. Amazing views, and the bedroom was fine, and a really nice-sized little study.
What do you think it's on at?
I would imagine it's on for somewhere in excess of 190,000.
207,000.
But we would be taking the mick if we were showing you a flat at 207, which we thought couldn't be purchased for less than that. And we wouldn't do that. You're going to have to sleep on it.
I'm going to have to think about it and pace around a lot and generally panic a lot this evening and get back to you tomorrow.
Okie-doke. OK. Right?
Kirstie's going to buy me a drink.
I am not going to buy you a drink.
I think I need a man-to-man talk with Ian, but first he's got a lot to think about. He has to decide whether he wants a property to suit him right here, right now, or this over-budget maisonette that will stretch him, but is a fantastic investment for the future.
So how are you doing this morning, Ian?
Well, I'm in a state of some anxiety, but I'm doing OK. Overnight, I've come to the conclusion that the big, expensive flat is the one I want quite a lot more than the other one.
I'd encourage you to stretch now, to stretch financially now, because if in 18 months' time it then becomes comfortable, I think that's a sensible thing to do.
Well, listen, let's finish up the coffee and go and meet Kirstie.
OK.
So the only one in the running now is the over-budget last-minute find. Yesterday, Ian loved the place for its space and location. But how does he feel today?
and have to do what most people do when they buy a flat for the first time, is they have to scrimp and save for a couple of years, and it would put me in that position, but in a way that's encouraging, because that's what I feel I should be doing. I'm excited by it, I think, more than nervous. Obviously I'm nervous, but I think it feels like it's a thing I should be doing now. It feels good.
Ian's really gaining confidence and seems to be positive about this property. But there is still the question of the work that needs doing.
Ian, we spoke with the agent and also the vendor of the property himself. He's had a quote done for complete overhaul of all the windows of this flat for a little under £3,000.
Right. OK.
The other bit of paper I've got is a quote done for the management company of the building to fix this damp patch in the dormer window. Quote of £1,233.
OK. It would cost me that amount of money?
No, it wouldn't. No. The service charge, which is collected, I think is £30 a month.
OK.
Would pay for this.
Right, sir.
Because there's enough saved up in the sinking fund.
OK.
I think we need to go and put ourselves in a bit of neutral ground.
Right. Let's go do that.
Top marks to Ian. He's taken our advice and pulled it together and is ready to make the biggest decision of his life. But what about the high asking price of £207,000?
I am incredibly loath to go over 200,000. That really would be killing me.
I wouldn't let you go over 200,000. You can't afford to make that flat into what it needs to be for you, for Ian's home. Oh, I think the answer is we shouldn't muck around. We should get on the telephone, if that's OK with you, Ian, and
Absolutely.
get on with negotiating.
Please do, and give them hell.
Well, let's talk numbers.
I'd like to start at 194, 195. I'd like to end at about 197.
That would be fantastic for me.
Stuart, hi. I won't beat around the bush. We've got £194,000 to offer. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Stuart! We can't clear two. We can't clear two. We can't. We just can't. Okie doke. Brilliant. Bye. He said that his client wants something beginning with a 2. Well, that suggests to me that that flat was valued at 200,000.
Let's cut to the chase. Go back to the agent. 197
or bust.
Right. I'm bullish about this. I was sitting with Ian when you called, and he looked at me and he just said, 197 or plan B. OK, brilliant, bye.
Neatly done, if I may say so myself.
I wanted to reflect Ian's confident tone on this.
Yeah. Put the emphasis back on them, let him sweat about it for 48 hours. It's not going to be snapped out from under you.
So the offer of 197 grand is on the table.
But the vendor isn't budging, so overnight Ian has agreed to climb an extra grand, and lo and behold, it's accepted.
3 months and several more sleepless nights later, the doctor's in the house. Well, flat.
I've got this big plan to take a sledgehammer to the wall, separating the kitchen and the dining room, and thereby making this enormous, fabulous room.
Ian, I'm so proud.
We've got 2 sets of first-time buyers with 2 very different searches. I've got 1.7 million to help our youngest ever house hunter find her first home on the banks of the Thames.
Aaron and Jerry's budget of 280,000 is nothing to be sniffed at. But, as we all know, it's bonkers for buyers in the capital.
You don't really need to move from this spot, do you, Phil?
Well, this is where she wants to live, somewhere along here would be nice.
Fantasy shopping week for you this week.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So you get acres of square footage in prime locations.
It's going to be fun.
And I get a motorbike.
Oh, well, you love a man with a boy's toy, don't you?
Yeah. I like to, you know, take a hammer to it.
Watch out, Aaron. Kirstie's on the warpath. Claire's preferred search area is on the south side of the Thames, as it has the better views of London's landmarks. But I'm also keen for her to at least see what she could buy on the north side of the river. If she likes it, it would double our options.
This second-floor Chelsea Bridge flat is part of a new development, with the promise of shops and restaurants to come and the buzz of the King's Road just a few minutes away. It's on the market at £1.775 million, but with 3 bedrooms, bags of open-plan living space and an area set to vastly improve, Claire could get a great return on her investment here.
We've got 1,600 square feet here.
Wow.
It's very big, very open.
Very actually.
So no problem with mobility and getting around all of it.
Not at all.
What do you make of the location here?
It is a bit further out than I had thought originally. And it is very quiet at the moment.
Yeah. Let's have a look around.
She's not sold on the location, so the flat will really have to win her round.
And the master bedroom here,
Wow.
with its balcony. I mean, I'm very aware that you wanted a direct river view. This hasn't got it. It's got a water view.
Quite a river, but yes.
I'm clutching at straws a little bit there.
It's what it represents to me, rather than the itself. And yeah, it's all people and everything happening down there.
Well, this is
1,775,000.
Yeah.
quite scary.
It is. Very scary.
But it's quite a lot of flat.
Yeah, it is. No, it is.
Claire's not sounding too convinced, Phil. Perhaps it's the shock of what you don't get for nearly £1.8 million.
So there we have it. How did I do with the first one?
Without a view, which isn't the end of the world, but without that, it's just a bit more.
OK.
I would spend probably, given what's here.
Spend it, but you'd want everything.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah. I can understand that.
The flat may be a smart investment, but at this price, Claire wants it all. And I've still got a long way to go if I'm going to crack this search.
Wow. I'm really feeling the pressure to get this right for Claire. It's a big responsibility. I think that was a fair start, but there's certainly room for improvement yet.
There certainly is. And being on the right side of the river would be good for a kick-off.
We're in London. Few cities have as much to offer as this one. And we've got two sets of mustard-keen buyers.
London may be spicy, but it's also pricey. Will our buyers find it too hot to handle?
In North London, first-time buyers Jerry and Aaron are desperate to leave their renting years behind and find a home to put their stamp on.
But with Aaron's motorbike dictating their need for a garden flat with side entrance, things are proving a little tricky.
With the search so restricted to end terrace garden flats, the majority of properties within budget are ruled out. So it's quite frankly a miracle we've come up trumps with this quirky one-bed. It's a fantastic find in Crouch End, their top location. It's got the all-important side access for Aaron's motorbike and a great-sized south-facing garden. The living space has potential, and although it's £5,000 above budget at £285,000, I'm confident we could bring it in under that.
So,
yeah, I like the
street gets a thumbs up.
Really
Really like it. Really,
Right.
really like it.
Well, as you see, side access.
Whee!
So we're just going to sally up the side because we know the flat's not important. So, bike could live here.
Yeah.
If you got rid of these steps,
Yeah.
it would be a perfect place for it.
Yeah, I like this side access a lot. You could easily get a bike up there.
Just the small matter of seeing the flat now.
So, bit of an odd-shaped sitting room.
I mean, apart from being dark though, it could definitely be homely.
Like, I like the layout of the room. I like that it's quite quirky.
Jerry and Aaron are keen to keep an open mind, which is encouraging as the small basement kitchen is the trade-off here.
It's not bad.
It's all right. It's a bit strange.
I get the feeling that the kitchen's put you right off. You've lost your other room.
Yeah, slightly. Don't love the kitchen. And I think my kitchen is quite important to me.
Go and have a look at the bedroom and see what you think.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh dear, Aaron's happy with the side access, but he's got a lot of convincing to do if he's going to get Jerry on board with this flat.
Compared to what we're used to just now,
Yeah.
this would be the smallest bedroom I've ever had.
But you can have it as a bedroom, can't you? You
Yeah.
would accept it, eh?
Yeah, I think I could.
So it's an option.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, but it's all about compromising, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is all about compromise, just as long as that compromise has nothing to do with the bike.
At least it's got a window though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it does, Aaron. But if those bars weren't there, I think Jerry would be getting ready to jump.
I love the garden. It's the size of the bedroom, I think.
And obviously that kitchen's a little bit small.
Let's go and see the other things. Bearing in mind that's the first thing you've seen, and let's see what compares to that.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Follow the cat.
Follow the cat.
Well, I did warn them that solving the side entrance issue would mean a compromise on the living space, and that doesn't seem to be hitting home quite yet.
My gamble north of the river hasn't paid off. Claire's using part of a 7-figure personal injury settlement to fund her purchase. It might be our biggest budget to date, but it's not all plain sailing, and I'm drafting in Kirstie for the afternoon to help me out.
North is that side.
I know.
South is that side.
I did say help, Kirstie. A Thames river view appears to be key, and so you'll be glad to hear that we're moving back to Claire's preferred south side to achieve it.
So where were you this morning?
We were on the north.
Yeah. What did Claire request?
The south.
Yeah, thank you. So that counts as not listening.
Yeah.
Well, I know you wanted to be on the south, so we're coming to have a look at the flat in there.
Wow.
And you're familiar with it?
I know, I have seen something in that development. Yeah, I love the atmosphere, lots of bars and restaurants and people.
So first impression's good.
Great, definitely.
We're in Vauxhall on the western boundary of the search area, and at £1.75 million, this 3-bed apartment offers everything Claire wants.
The bedrooms are smaller than in the Chelsea Bridge flat, but that's the price you pay for being right on the riverbank and close to all the action.
Wow.
Up on the 13th floor, full river frontage. It is a wow space.
It's silly to walk in here and sort of pretend that we're viewing a normal flat.
No,
we're not viewing a
not
normal
at all.
flat. What's the thing that stands out?
For me, it's space, and it's a great view out there. Yeah. And it's so light and airy and modern.
This is a great flat, but all flats in this price range are going to be impressive, and I'm keen to root out what's most important to Claire in this search.
Would you say your principal concern is finding somewhere which delivers the greatest amount of independence?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, investment is a second to that.
Right.
Definitely. It's my life. It's not about money all the time. Yeah, of course I have to consider that to the future, but I want to enjoy it.
So independence is more important than investment for Claire, but we can't let either out of our sight.
It is extraordinary how adamant she is about the independence. And obviously that is a huge, huge part of this. This is who I am. This is the money that is my compensation.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to spend it.
This is my future. I'm going to look after myself.
Yeah.
Easy navigation is a key part of Claire's independence.
Is it good enough?
Obviously, the location here is much better than the last property. The bedrooms are a bit small, but I think with that, it's about compromise.
I've said it for years, but this really illustrates it. There are compromises with every budget.
Well, not the gold star quite yet.
No.
For our other first-timers, Jerry and Aaron, it's off to see another garden flat. But we've shown them the only place we can find in Crouch End with side access, so I'm changing tack.
With its shops, bars and delis, Kentish Town is a popular place. Jerry and Aaron know and like the area, but it's 2 miles closer to London's city centre, which unsurprisingly means a hike in price. At just under £300,000, this one bed is 20 grand above their top spend. But it has that crucial side access, as well as offering a more traditional layout than the flat in Crouch End.
It's also a private sale, and if they like it, there may be a deal to be done.
Hello, I'm Phil.
Hello, nice to meet you, Phil.
Very nice to meet you.
Hi,
Jerry.
nice to meet you.
Phil has a scooter.
Yeah, I've
Oh, we
seen
can
that.
I've never seen that
Yes,
We
yeah.
can sympathise.
That's why I brought him along. Fellow bikers.
I don't know if that's the same.
2 wheels, bike. 2 wheels and an engine, motorbike.
So, as you see, different.
Yes, nice.
Yeah, I like this. I like this.
What do you like about it?
This room alone has got a nice living room feel to it.
I like it more than the other one.
Yeah, so do
Just
I.
because of the light
Yeah.
and I like the location as well.
Come on, Aaron, we'll have a look out the back, talk about bikes and things.
Clearly Phil's here to work.
Well, see what you get out the back here, Aaron. Little patio area.
Yep.
Bit of fresh air.
I think he would let me have the final say, but it's still a joint decision.
Yeah.
I'll still obviously take whatever he says and we'll decide together.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the girls gave you a bit of a hard time yesterday. I know what Kirstie's like when it comes to men and their toys.
I felt like Kirstie, not the girls, but Kirstie laid it on thick. Jerry was quite fine, though I think that Jerry was maybe feeling that I was asking for too much because Kirstie laid it on so thick.
Not that I'm trying to create friction between you and your partner. I think you're being a saint.
Thank you.
My take is, it is achievable. Here we are.
Yeah.
It's achievable. It's possible. But you restrict the numbers of things that you can even consider to such an extent. When you find one, you've got to just take it.
I accept that, and I agree.
Will Jerry accept that?
I think she will. I think she will.
I hope she will.
Unless she's telling Kirstie something else. Like the boyfriend could go on the bike.
Do you think Aaron meant it when he said, if we can accommodate the bike, the rest is up to you?
He better.
We better save your arse quickly.
Yeah, all right then.
This flat seems to be scoring highly, but it's going to take every penny of their £280,000 budget to keep Jerry, Aaron and the bike happy.
Aaron loves it. You've got this in the bag.
Yeah. I knew it.
What?
And you've been eating their chocolate eclairs.
Kirstie, did you put that in my pocket?
They have a bowl of chocolate eclair sweets in their sitting room, and you've been eating them.
Put those in my pocket.
I can't believe it. I have not. Get off.
Oh. This is a better size.
Yeah, I like this. For sure. This is a nice size, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aaron said to me he was worried that you might be talking to her into ditching the boyfriend and the bike.
Really?
Yeah.
He's rather sweet about it. He did say if push comes to shove, the bike would go before she did.
Let me just work that out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, gang, what's it to be?
Yeah, really like this one.
Yeah,
I
like
could
it,
see us
yeah.
living here. Definitely.
It was nice to have Phil's support, wasn't it?
For sure.
Aaron speaks up about that.
Yeah.
Come again.
It's
quickly,
for
Phil.
sure a Dundee thing, Aaron, because you do say that quite a lot.
For sure.
For sure.
I don't know, it's maybe just being with you, Kirstie, I'm a bit short for words.
I don't do that to people, do I, Phil?
Yes.
OK, so it is 20,000 over budget, but it doesn't seem to have left Jerry short of words. For sure.
This week we're in London and I'm on the glamorous South Bank with our biggest budget ever.
While I'm in North London trying to find Jerry and Aaron a home fit for a motorbike. It's one thing being impressed by a property worth millions, but another thing to feel committed enough to buy it. Claire recently received a 7-figure personal injury settlement, and she's set aside part of it to fund the purchase. It's a huge decision, and so far neither flat has been convincing enough.
I'm pinning my hopes on this 3-bedroom penthouse in the middle of Claire's search area, close to Borough High Street. The river view scored highly at the second property, so it's a huge risk to now move away from the banks of the Thames, but you'd be hard pushed to miss any of London's landmarks from this fantastic roof terrace.
It's on at £1.75 million, and at 2,100 square feet, it's far bigger than anything else we've seen, providing plenty of open space for Claire to get around easily.
Welcome.
Wow.
To the penthouse flat.
Look at all these windows.
Look at that view, look at that terrace.
Wow, look at all that.
You really do get a sense of the city. You can't see the river, but you've replaced boats with people and activity and action.
It is properly 360 degrees.
It is. You see every part of London.
I mean, this terrace is just...
Yeah, perfect.
It all seems very positive and gleeful.
Yes, I want to buy it now. Please.
Claire loves this place, and I don't blame her. It's fantastic.
But any teenager would be bowled over by a party flat like this, so I need to be doubly sure this is right for her.
She's going to do what she wants to do.
It's nothing to do with her wheelchair and her conditions. In fact, she's 18. She's spending a vast amount of money, and I'm here to try and make sure she does it sensibly.
Yeah, well, she's sensibly enough called on you. It's a great find, Phil. I think it's the best thing you've ever found, ever.
Well, I just want it to be right.
It is right. It is right. It's a happy flat.
Looking at this kind of budget, we're able
Yeah.
to show you very nice flats.
Yes.
But how are you feeling about actually laying down that kind of cash?
Yes, it is a hell of a lot of money, but then my situation is a bit different. And if that's what it costs for me to have the home that I want and that's accessible enough, then that's fine.
That's what it costs.
Yeah.
You see, Phil, no need for all that worry after all.
I think I can safely leave you now, having got Phil back onto the right track.
Yes.
Blah, blah.
Blah, blah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
Come on then.
And while Claire is in Phil's now very capable hands, I'm off to North London, where things were feeling more settled after a positive viewing in Kentish Town. But I'm about to throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
This one-bed flat in Alexandra Palace doesn't have side access, but we've exhausted our options as far as that goes. It does have space at the front, which could be made more secure for Aaron's bike.
It's just 2 miles north of their beloved Crouch End, and it has bags of character, spacious rooms and a garden bigger than anything else we've seen so far. I just have to show them it.
Right. So...
I knew you would do this to us.
No, I'm not doing anything. It's my job to show you what's out there.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, no. It's not a bad thing. All I'm doing is saying, if you change a couple of the criteria, okay, big criteria, you do see very different things.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say it, Kirstie. Spanner and works.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
I like it a lot. It's more like a house now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
Rather than a dingy flat.
They'd be crazy not to love this flat, but I can't help feeling there's a two-wheeled niggle at the back of Aaron's mind.
What do you think, Jerry?
I really love it. It's like a proper grown-up's house.
It is. You're just getting so much more, eh? In this space. Is it a stumbling block?
I don't know what to do.
I know he thinks I did the side access thing deliberately, but I didn't. I really, really, really wanted to accommodate that wretched motorbike. I promise I did.
I don't actually like being the bad guy.
Oh, but you do it so well.
It's not them falling head over heels and going, oh, it's so much bigger, let's take it. The side access was very important all along, and it still is now.
But it's got space at the front that you could put a bike
The bike safe, yeah, but don't get me wrong. We've been shown another property that's a lot bigger, but we knew it was going to be a lot bigger because we're further out.
Yeah.
So, it's up to you.
Well, Aaron did say the side access would be the deal breaker for him, and it looks like he's a man true to his word. But Jerry's fallen for this place, and it seems they have a lot to discuss.
While Kirstie causes confusion in North London, I'm still flying high on the success of the penthouse viewing and feeling confident enough to play a wild card. We're moving to the easterly point of Claire's search area in Shad Thames. This 3-bedroom warehouse conversion cleverly mixes character with a more contemporary feel. And as for the river view, well, it doesn't get any better than this.
It's quite literally a stone's throw from Tower Bridge, which is why it has an asking price of a cool £2.5 million. Claire's
always said for the right investment, she's open to increasing the budget, properties along this stretch of the Thames never go out of fashion, and long-term, a view like this is bound to underpin value. But what will Claire make of it?
Well, here we are.
Wow, again.
They're all going to be wow, Claire.
I know.
£2.5 million buys just under 1,700 square feet. Here.
Right.
Direct river frontage.
Very direct.
It is very, very cool.
Wow, that is something new.
One of the most, if not the most, famous bridges in the entire world on your doorstep. How does it compare with the view from where we've been?
Well, you can't really top this, can you? So, yeah, with a view, this is just perfect. Completely.
I think we might have another contender. And there was me thinking you had it all sewn up, Phil.
As all these things, boils down to money.
Yeah.
And whether you feel it necessary to spend £2.5 million quid.
Yeah,
or whether you're happy with what you've seen already.
Quite a lot to think about. Yeah.
Well, that is the first time that I've seen Claire a bit flustered. And I haven't taken it too far. This is a terrific flat. This flat is about as good as it gets anywhere, in my opinion, along the banks of the Thames. But it's £2.5 million quid, and that might be a step too far.
Oh, Phil, you don't make it easy on yourself, do you? And it looks like Claire has a lot to think about overnight. It's a new day in North London and Jerry and Aaron are trying to resolve their bike or budget quandary. They've opted to revisit the flat that makes everyone equally happy, including the bike, in Kentish Town.
But it looks like their budget may be the thing to give if this flat feels just as good the second time around.
Right, so, cloudy day. Admittedly, it's summer, but still this room is not dark.
No.
Yeah.
And it's really quiet. Yeah.
Do you like it, Jerry?
Yeah, still really like it.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I think this is a place.
You think this is the one? So Alexandra Palace is out of the picture now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
You're both grinning like Cheshire Cats.
I'm just really excited.
You're excited, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's just perfect.
Looks like I'm onto a winner, and if they like the garden in this weather, it's a sure thing.
You both seem ecstatic.
I am.
Okie doke. I'm going to go in. I'm going to leave you here, okay?
Okay.
You can walk around for another 10 minutes looking like, you know, blissed up lunatics. And then we have to go somewhere because the hard stuff starts, okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
On the South Bank, Claire's decided she'd like to have a second look around the penthouse in Borough. Even the best river view in London couldn't match this.
Since a river view was top of Claire's wish list, it was a gamble to show her this flat in the first place, but Phil's maverick ways seem to have paid off.
Well, here we are again, Claire.
Here we are again.
I tell you, I wasn't surprised to be back here.
No? Didn't think it would be, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think of most family dream flat, really. As it turns out, it's not like the river.
Yeah.
But for me, that's not what matters anymore, you know.
So Claire's realised a cityscape can be just as stunning as a river view. But it's not a done deal yet. She wants her occupational therapist's opinion on the practicalities of living here.
Right.
So is this the master bedroom?
This is currently, yes.
Well, Claire's quite obviously smitten with this place. To be perfectly honest, so am I. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for her. I just have to hope that her occupational therapist thinks she can make it work. But then again, Claire's already instructed me that I must bully her therapist into making it work.
Okay, my ideal thought would be to really take this wall out.
Right.
And knock it into a really large second bedroom,
Yes.
if you like. You've got then no problems with your turning space.
No. There we go.
Well, I can't tell who's smiling more.
I know.
Is this all right? Are we okay?
Yes, it certainly has the wow factor, doesn't it? But I think from the wow factor, you still can look at it practically. And the good thing about it is you actually have the ability to change the space to suit Claire.
Well, I'm relieved.
Yes.
I am relieved. I'm more relieved than you. Sounds like we've got a bit of negotiations on then.
We have.
So we will vacate the premises
Lovely.
and find somewhere comfy.
After you.
Sounds good.
Whilst it may not have been what we set out to find at the start, this flat has turned out to be everything Claire both wants and needs. Now it's down to me to get it for her.
Well, we started on the South Bank.
We did.
Let's hope we can finish it here on the South Bank. You love it?
I do. I really love it. It's as perfect as it can be.
Okay.
It's just wonderful.
It's on at £1.75 million.
Yeah.
We've spoken to 6 or 7 of the local agents about prices, comparable prices, likely prices. The flat next door has just sold at £768 per square foot. That's sold for 1.45. The flat that we're looking at is a better flat.
Yeah.
It's a bigger flat, it's a better flat, it's got much better views, and its terrace is 3 or 4 times as big. My suggestion is that we open negotiations at 1,600,000. I think that's likely to be declined. I think he'll want more than that. What's your take on that approach?
To be honest, I had hoped we were going a bit lower, but given what you just said about the square footage and well, I can completely see why it's not not appropriate. You're the expert, I'll have to go by what you say.
1.6.
1.6.
Let's have a go. Sean, very good afternoon. It's Phil Spencer here. Ringing about the flat you've been helping us with. It's been awkward to try and justify the 1.75, but I do have an offer, and the offer that she'd like to make is for 1.6 million. Okay, many thanks. Bye-bye. Well, the die is cast.
I don't think it'll be.
But that's no problem. We're at the table. We're talking numbers. We're being serious.
Okay.
It's never easy buying your first home, and unfortunately I've just discovered that Jerry and Aaron have made a big rookie mistake.
Okay, so I was just having a chat with Jerry and Aaron and going through all the facts and figures and explaining to them how everything works. And I wrote down all the costs involved at buying the house for 280, which is their budget. It transpires that they thought they could borrow the stamp duty from the mortgage company. Well, you can't borrow stamp duty from mortgage companies. They will only lend the purchase price of the property. So now we're in a situation where 280 is no longer their budget.
It's a cruel blow, and with stamp duty on this flat coming in at 3%, that leaves them just under £8,500 short. We may have found them their dream flat, but it's now looking even less likely it will become their first home.
In North London, Jerry and Aaron have been scraping together some extra cash, but they've got a long way to go. The flat is on at just under 300,000, and we were going to chance our arm at 280. Now even that is looking unlikely. We've all had a deep breath. Can you find some extra money from anywhere?
Yeah, we can find a bit, but we can't find enough to get 280.
So where can you get to?
We think it would be around the figure of, we can borrow, 276 we can go for.
Well, then all we can do is ring up the vendor and be completely frank. We know you want that flat. We know it's a good flat. We know it would have been a miracle to get it for 280. It will be a miracle and a half to get it for 276.
Yeah.
But
Miracles do happen.
miracles do happen occasionally. So you're happy for me to do that now at 276,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a private sale, so at least I'm dealing directly with the vendor.
Hello, is that Joffy? Hi, it's Kirstie, Allsopp. We came to see your flat this morning. Our intention, half an hour ago, was to ring you with an offer of £280,000. But I am now only in a position to make an offer of £276,000 and not 280. They realise that they're making a low offer financially and they want to boost their attractiveness to you as buyers by being entirely flexible, so you wouldn't necessarily had to move into rented because, yeah, I know, I fully understand that. Okay, thanks, Joffy, bye.
So what's he saying?
He said, I'm not saying no, I'm just saying I don't think we can afford to sell it for that. He won't come back to us this evening, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is quite a difficult moment.
It is not a no. Okay? You're going to have to sit it out, Jerry. And Aaron. Both of you are going to have to sit it out.
Yeah, okay.
They are still in with a chance, but it's a tough lesson to learn.
Waiting is the name of the game on the South Bank too, and after our low bid of 1.6 million, 150,000 beneath the asking price, I'm waiting for the agent to call back with a counter-offer.
Oh.
Hi, Sean. Yeah, I'm good. Any news? Yeah. We've got it. Thanks, Sean.
You got it? Oh, my God. Oh.
That is unbelievable.
Amazing.
Shawnee there. She's over the moon. Thank you very much indeed. Terrific. Delighted. Cheers.
Good.
1.6.
Wow.
What a deal.
What a deal.
What a flat.
I'm speechless.
So am I.
I love that.
Bartender, we'll have another couple of drinks, please.
With an incredible £150,000 saved off the asking price, I think you can afford more than one.
As expected, there's no miracle for Jerry and Aaron, and their offer is refused. However, after discussing it with their families, they decide to push the budget from £276,000 to £287,500, and that is accepted. But we were after a miracle, and we get one when a property in Crouch End comes onto the market at the cheaper price of £270,000.
Jerry found a property online that we went to have a look at, and
They made an offer the next day.
and yeah, it all worked out perfectly, didn't it, Jerry?
Yeah. And we're due to exchange early next week.
They're not quite in yet, but it's got 2 bedrooms and the side access for the bike, and we're over the moon for them.
Well, we're really looking forward to getting into the new place, aren't we?
Yeah.
Good to have somewhere that's our own.
Easy for the bike to get it in, to get it out, and no problem.
So that's Jerry, Aaron and the bike all ready for their happy home in Crouch End. It's been a couple of months since I agreed the deal for Claire, and now she's back to see what will soon be her new home.
Well, when I got the place, I was just ecstatic. I never thought they'd accept that first offer. And when I did, I just went into shock. It took a while to see it in, really. It was actually going to be mine. Yeah, it was unreal.
And Claire's not hanging about. She's brought in an architect to model the flat for her needs and her very classy style. Bespoke bathrooms, huge wardrobes and all the latest gadgets.
Your plasma TV's over there, and I think your dining would be just be fine.
Well, we're up to the stage in the process where I'm hopefully exchanging contracts in the next couple of days and then completing, hopefully, by the start of September.
We just need to check on the landlord whether that's permissible
Yeah.
in planning.
The process does seem to be taking forever, but, yeah, I guess it has to be done and I just got to try and be patient.
Well, she may have to wait for move-in day, but at least she doesn't have to wait to show this place off.
So, follow me in. So this is the living area.
Wow.
And kitchen.
Big.
It's big.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And the best bits are outside.
It's beautiful. We can see some poles. I'm talking to you. I can see some poles here. She's got a space, and that's exactly what she needs. To feel comfortable in her house, that's going to be her place. So I think she's going to be absolutely happy here. I'm glad. Very glad. Yes! Happiness to you in your new place.
Thank you.
So she's achieved her dream, a perfect penthouse in the perfect part of town.
Cheers.
She thought she wanted a river view, but in the end, who wouldn't be delighted with such an iconic skyline?
It definitely still feels like the right choice. I mean, if I come back here, it just feels like I'm coming home. And that's a great thing to have. I can't imagine being anywhere else, really.
This week, we're everybody's rock.
We're holding the hands of a young couple afraid of making a mistake with their first purchase.
And helping another family that are facing meltdown, breakdown, and the bulldozers.
Surrey's verdant charms have bewitched both our couples this week, so neither wants to stray far from where they already live in this green and pleasant county.
But their desire to keep it local could end up driving us loco. Surrey property prices are almost 2/3 higher than the national average, and at the moment, there's serious demand coupled with a serious lack of supply in the market.
We're searching with a family who have £1 million plus and a couple of first-time buyers on a budget. But in this, the second most expensive county in the country, it's going to be anything but a walk in the park. First up, stand by your sofas. This is a property emergency. Businessman Andy Clark and his wife Susie are, to say the very least, desperate.
For the past 18 months, they've been renting while searching for a home to buy for themselves, their children Poppy and Theo, and Susie's dad Peter.
I have had many, many sleepless nights about it. We need to buy a family home, and my father's 90 now. We need to move him in, get him settled.
We need a house. You know, Poppy wants to decorate her bedroom. Theo wants to put his posters up. Everyone needs stability, and we're camping. We're camping in a house.
They may be camping now, but they're set to be homeless soon. This huge house is due to have a wrecking ball tearing through it in just 6 months' time. With developers poised to knock it down to build new houses, it's already been home to the extended Clark family for a whole year longer than planned. One of the reasons their search is proving to be so hard is their desire to stay in Cobham, where they currently live.
The problem with Cobham is that everybody else likes it, so it's an expensive place to try and find a house.
Their long and fruitless search has left Susie and Andy feeling anything but positive.
Jaded, lacking in inspiration, tired.
Soul destroyed.
We need a change. We need a sort of an injection to liven things up a bit.
I think that might be your cue, Phil.
18 months and 150 houses. What on earth has been going wrong?
I think we've lost the vision that we probably had a year ago. And now we can literally go to a driveway or into a front hall, unless it looks completely right for us. We just say, no, it's not going to work, and just walk away.
Can we talk a little bit about what you have learned about multi-generational living?
My father's 90. He needs the TV up quite loud. So we do need to have him in a room that's either well soundproofed or quite far away from kind of the family living space.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we like the idea that he's amongst us as well. And we've also realised that our children like being close to him. They really like living with their grandfather.
My task is refocusing you.
Yes.
So let's keep positive. It's possible, it's tough, and it's very complex, and it needs sorting out double quick.
Yes, please.
I'm on the water all week.
Gosh, he must be worried.
I am, because even with their relatively chunky budget, finding a house that satisfies all their conflicting needs is a real challenge. They've got just over £1 million to spend, and for that they need a minimum of 5 bedrooms and room for Susie's dad, Peter. But that needs to be near the family and far away. They want large Victorian rooms and contemporary family-style living space. They'd like lots of amenities nearby, but with a rural feel. It's going to be my job to turn those contradictions into compromises. Lucky old me.
My young lovebirds, Sam and Jess, seem almost straightforward in comparison. They've pretty much been inseparable since they met at sixth form college 6 years ago and are ready to move on to the next stage of their life as a couple, buying their first home together.
I just think we're ready and excited about buying a place together, aren't we, really? It feels like now's the right time.
11 months ago, they set themselves a deadline to pick their perfect pad within the year. But with just 1 month to go, they're really no further forward. And now they're worried they might be about to miss a much more crucial cut-off point.
We are worried about being left behind on the property market because obviously it's now turning and things are starting to move again and prices might be creeping up. But we still want to buy now.
I think if we didn't, we'd probably always regret it.
Their modern rented flat in Godalming works really well for them. It's handy for Sam's nursing job at the local hospital and for Jess's commute into London, where she works in marketing.
They love to entertain their friends, and foodie Sam knows where her priorities lie.
The kitchen is one of my favourite places and where I spend most of my time.
It'd be nice just to get a dining room table, even if it's just for sort of 4 people or just us, just so we can sit and eat and talk, rather than being sat on the sofas in front of the TV.
These guys are anything but couch potatoes. They've an active lifestyle and they're as happy in wellies as they are in lycra.
Oh, this is a good one.
I know which I prefer, and one of their interests seems a little more me.
This is going to turn me into a thief. I can't do pick your own because I just eat them. So, why have you not got a place already?
The last year's just been so crazy with friends' weddings and other
Friends'
social
weddings.
events.
We've had a lot on.
That rates on the top 3 worst excuses I've ever heard.
It's true.
So now you're there, the friends are hitched. What are your reservations?
We don't want to leap in just because we're so excited and yes, we love it, and then think, oh, well, actually, I think we've made the wrong decision.
You probably wanted to walk up to a property for it to be a turnkey property and everything to be perfect, whereas I quite like the idea of modifying a place.
Jess and I shouldn't gang up against you and bully you because you struggle with the idea of revamping something.
I've had it drilled into my head now to look beyond all of that, and
You're
I'm getting
put
a
off
lot
by
better.
bad wallpaper and a bad
Not
carpet
anymore.
and things like that. Well, you were before.
So I think we're going to get out there, look at it all, and definitely find you something. Can't see any reason why we wouldn't.
So for their £240,000 budget, Sam and Jess want a character property with 2 decent double bedrooms and loads of entertaining space. They'd like a good garden, and Jess at least is up for adding value by doing work.
So I've got just over £1 million to find Susie and Andy the ultimate family home.
And I've got 240 grand to get a cute country cottage for Sam and Jess.
Cheers.
I'm not sure we've ever had a more desperate couple than Susie and Andy. They are absolutely up against it, completely confused, and they've been looking for 1.5 years. I'm really feeling the pressure.
It's OK, because I'll be there for you, because with my 2, they've got their head screws on, they've got their deposit, they haven't found a house because they haven't had the time. So I can help you.
I'm going to need it.
OK, but in the meantime, will you do my shoe up, because it's come undone?
Well, hang on, you've just given
I'll
me
hold the
coffee cups.
I can't bend down and just have to tie that bit there.
This is like...
It's like Cinderella, isn't it?
Well,
You're my
I was
prince.
actually thinking about cleaning out a horse's hooves, you know.
Are you cheeky? Honestly.
Oh, don't be such an old nag. Susie and Andy really want to stay in their preferred village of Cobham, but it's going to mean a massive compromise on the age and style of house. It's an issue I've decided to tackle head-on, with the best house that's on the market for them at the moment.
Brave boy, good luck.
I'm not expecting you to say that you're going to like it, so...
I think we
It looks like a coal bunker.
Yeah.
Great start, Phil.
I'll tell you one thing, you can't learn anything from the outside about what's inside. It's not their preferred style, but it's got everything they need. There are 5 bedrooms, a study, a huge kitchen, and a massive lounge. And in the longer term, there would also be the option to convert this garage into a fabulous suite of rooms for Susie's dad. All for bang on £1 million.
I don't think my father will like this at all.
He wouldn't like this sort of modern look.
It was always going to be a long shot because there's a fundamental flaw with their search so far.
There's about 2% of the properties in Cobham are Victorian, the style that you're ideally interested in. So if you want to stay here, we've got to open it up.
I think that if I'd just seen it on the website, I would have just completely disregarded it and not even rung up the estate agent to come and have a look at it.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of what I was expecting.
My slight concern right now is I'm not sure it gives us quite enough space for my father.
We know location is key to these two, but if they want to be in Cobham, it's going to mean making some sacrifices.
OK, I can tell you my comments about this house are that there's no play area for Theo at all. We haven't got a bedroom that's got an ensuite for Daddy.
Yeah. There's no dining room either, so the communal space is that big open space downstairs.
Yeah.
So either your father would be shut in his study the whole time, or he'd be with us.
In the kitchen.
Look of horror? or look of unknown?
Actually, Susie doesn't like it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Actually.
We're trying to be nice.
Okay, no, please don't be nice.
It's not for us.
We're not buying it, so let's get out.
They ideally want a Victorian house, but they also want a house with big open rooms and the ability to live in a contemporary family way. And that doesn't exist in Cobham within the budget that they have. That's a bitter pill to swallow. That's why I wanted to show them this. It might not be Victorian, but it's in the right spot and it's got big rooms. But it's not a waste of time, I hope.
This week, I'm with childhood sweethearts Sam and Jess, who are longing to buy their first home together.
And I'm with Andy and Susie, who have less romantic desires. They just want a new home before the one they're in is knocked down.
But, so far, it's more sob story than love story.
We're struggling in Surrey, one of the priciest parts of the UK in which to buy property. Susie and Andy Clark have spent 18 months on the hunt for a family home for themselves, their kids and Susie's dad.
They're desperate and possibly one step closer to despair after my first viewing.
Actually, Susie doesn't like it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Not my finest hour.
At the other end of the property ladder, 20-somethings Sam and Jess have set me a much easier brief. This young couple are looking to make a home together in Surrey, somewhere far from the madding crowds.
They want plenty of space to indulge their love of entertaining their friends and plenty of period features.
I'm kicking things off in Farncombe, a small village chock full of independent food shops that Sam will love and with great commuter links for Jess. It's a village they asked us to search in, but it's so pricey that I never thought we'd manage to find anything for them.
Something that puts me off is how close we are really to the road. This is quite a noisy road from what I know.
Oh dear, that's not the reaction you were expecting.
Well, the charm and the garden combined with great entertaining space should be enough to win her over. And I'm hoping I can bring this one in on budget despite its slightly ambitious price tag.
Not a bad-sized kitchen, to be honest.
Good-sized kitchen and lovely.
Yeah, I actually really like the kitchen.
It never does to ignore things. The road does look a bit scruffy. There could be kids hanging around outside the wine shop. And there's a disused shop next door.
Yeah.
Those are the definite, obvious, immediate downsides.
Yeah. Definitely.
Obvious, immediate upsides, you have got a wine shop at the end of the street. Someone is going to turn that disused shop either back into a shop or into a really cool house, because in an area like this where prices are just so high, things do not stay disused forever.
No. I think let's have a look elsewhere and then we'll see how we feel, I think.
Yeah, I think we've been put off from the outside, so we need to see more of the inside, maybe
definitely. Really nice. I like the fireplace.
That's very nice, actually.
Yeah, it is really nice. And it's light and airy.
Ah, sweet. They're trying to like it for you.
I think they're very nervous in a way that I wouldn't have anticipated. I think with Sam and Jess, you see this kind of ballsy pair, go-getting, sensible, actually much more nerves there than I initially anticipated. Aha, here they come, judge and jury.
Yeah, I feel slightly disappointed because there's two big negatives.
I think the first one's the main road, isn't it?
Main road, that's a bit harsh.
No, it's not main road.
That is
not
a bit harsh.
Big main road, but it's just how close. Yeah, it's a road.
The area, you're actually saying the area, aren't you? Yeah, you're actually, Don't beat around the bush. It's the area. The area looks a bit downhill and it's making you worried. OK, so that's a no then.
I think so.
Not so easy, is it?
I've got two sensible, head screwed on, but a bit nervous purchasers who are just a bit... I hate to use the P word, but they are actually more picky than I initially thought. I thought we'd get off to a cracking start and we just didn't.
Well, give them time. Give them time. You've got all the good things to show them.
Yeah, no, I'm confident about my property portfolio, but I just think they are not as...
OK, let's try not to use the P word.
Let's try not to use the P word. Let's have a week when we don't accuse anyone of being...
Sounds like I better get myself over there to help out.
They didn't like the last one's location, but I think this one will work better. It's on the edge of Farnham, so it's further out, but has the rural feel they really want.
Well, they already look much more relaxed. Maybe that's just because I'm here.
From the outside, I think it's pretty much perfect to look at, really.
I think it would be a house that we would drive past and be like,
That's really
that would
sweet.
be nice to live in.
So they like the area, but it's the house that really scores here. The entertaining space is fantastic, and there are 2 good double bedrooms. It's in gorgeous nick, the garden's lovely, and it's under budget at just shy of 235 grand.
This is where you do all the entertaining.
Wow. Really, really nice.
I know you like cooking and entertaining, having friends around, so really is loads of space.
How light an area
Really
it is.
light.
I think this is probably one of the nicest kitchen lounge areas we've seen. Really excited, actually.
Well, there's no doubt they like it, but there are still nerves on show, mainly from Sam.
Aside from the whole issue of price and investment, what are the things that concern you?
I think rushing in and making the wrong decision, maybe thinking, well, what if in a few months there's something that we like even more?
Kirstie tells me that Sam is... She described her as Captain Sensible, and she's very cautious.
Yeah, she is quite sensible.
And you're more likely to sort of jump in with both feet and not do something rash. But, I mean, that presumably is why you're a good couple.
Exactly, we balance each other out.
I think that's with everything though, isn't it? You always feel, what if there is something better out there?
Yeah, but you don't think that about Jess.
No, that's true. I want to see what the next one is, really. I'm holding off. I have to see the next to then really decide, but I do get a really good feel from this house.
Do you feel that she'll be finding things to be critical about here, or...?
Yeah, possibly. I think she might be slightly worried about the location, how it would work for me to get to the train station in the morning. But the house and the property is ideal.
Hey.
So...
8 out of 10 here. You've done well.
Do you think? I don't think so, no, because Sam said that she likes it, but she's interested to see what the next one's like.
Oh, Jess is dead keen. You'll be back here tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
OK.
I might as well.
Really? Oh, Phil. Oh, filthy child.
Susie and Andy have now finally accepted that they can't get what they want in their dream location of Cobham, so I'm taking them to the pretty village of Hersham. It's not quite as rural as Cobham, but it's convenient for the kids' schools and it's closer to Andy's work.
Do you know Hersham?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Okay. Is that a good thing?
No.
Silence. Not a good thing.
No. Andy would probably prefer this location, whereas I would definitely prefer to be further out. But, you know, this is about compromises.
You said it.
They're learning, Phil. That last house was worthwhile.
Well, Susie may not love the area, but I'm convinced they're both going to love this gorgeous extended period house. It feels less spacious than the last place, but it's got more rooms, with 6 beds and 3 receptions, including a whole section of the house specifically for Susie's dad. And it's cheaper at $935,000.
It feels a bit dark. That's my kind of comment about this.
It is a bit dark, yeah. I mean, I think it feels to me a little bit enclosed and a bit pokey. But, you know, it's not the end of the world.
It sounds it.
Boy, they're hard to please. This is the biggest house I've ever heard described as pokey. But at least the space for Susie's dad is beyond reproach.
He could have a suite of rooms up here. Bedroom, bathroom, living room. It is all up in the eaves. I've not met him, so I don't know how tall he is. But...
Well, he's quite a tall guy, but no, there's plenty of room here for him. As far as accommodation
for
him, I think this is probably the best that we've seen.
At last, we're getting somewhere.
No, I think it's quite good.
I think he'd have a real problem walking up those stairs.
Yeah, the stairs could be a problem, but apart from that, I think it's not too bad.
We'd have to change the bath.
Okay, we'd have to change the bath.
No, I'm just telling you what we'd have to do.
But apart from that...
I think he'd struggle with these really narrow doors. I don't think that works for him.
OK.
That's Andy told.
Perhaps we were a bit hasty in banning the P word. I'm picking up signs of pickiness.
I'm worried they're holding out for the other P word, perfection.
Feeling the pressure here. Not going well at all. Not on any level. I thought it was a great house. It is a great house. It's in a fantastic spot for them. But apparently it's too dark, it's too small.
Enough room for a bed?
Do you think so?
I think so, yeah, just.
Hang on, let me check. I'm not sure I remember working for a couple that have such severe needs.
This is the nicest bit of the house, actually.
And I also don't remember working for a couple feeling so far behind the 8 ball. 2 viewings down, not a squeak.
So, any good?
I don't think the layout works for us.
I don't think the location is ideal for us either. So, you know, this house in our perfect location, maybe. This house in our not perfect location, probably not.
I hope you'll agree with me that on a purely practical point of view, this house works. It's got the right numbers of rooms.
From a practical point of view, I think there's definitely enough square footage. And if you were to look at this from the outside, the location probably is perfect.
Practically it works, but you don't actually like
I don't like the area at all. And I mean, you only have to look out of the upstairs windows. I mean, it's you just would not want to wake up and look over those kind of houses every day.
Oh, Phil, I'm worried they'll never buy if they keep being this picky. There, I've said it. Picky.
Susie and Andy have had time to sleep on yesterday's less than successful viewings, and it's time for a council of war.
They've had 18 months to figure out that compromise is more than just a word, and it's high time they learn to stop talking about it and just do it.
I think we are aware that what my father needs came quite high up the priority list yesterday, and then what we needed for the children, and actually we might be able to work around some of the criteria for my father. The two most important things are to have ground floor space and the right location.
I kind of took home last night what you were saying, Andy, at the end of the day, that if the location is right, we'll work around the house.
Yeah.
If the house is right, we might be able to work around the location, but one of them has got to be 10
I would prefer the location to be 10 out of 10.
Okay.
That
Andy?
for me is...
I'll do what Susie says.
It's much easier that way, isn't it?
No, I'm pretty flexible. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather have the house perfect, but I could work both ways.
Okay. Follow me to the first property.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Okay.
This is a big change. They've radically rethought their criteria overnight. Andy would rather have the perfect house, but for Susie, it's all about the right location.
Well, it's Leatherhead next. Ideal for schools, Andy's commute, and it's a vibrant little town.
This location might be slightly too towny for Susie, but the house is so strong even she's going to have to consider it.
Extra room there. And a massive living room out the back.
Wow.
God.
Wow.
Thank goodness. This giant Victorian villa has all the ground floor space Susie could ever want. 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms and 4 reception rooms, including rooms that could be a separate suite for her dad.
The vendor's looking for offers between 900,000 and 1.1 million. It's got bags of the period charm Andy's so keen on and an 18-foot swimming pool.
Oh my God, Poppy would just be so ecstatically happy. That's what
Wow.
she wants.
That's amazing. Amazing.
This is just lovely.
Keen to see more?
Yes, please.
We are. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it's a first. But and through into the kitchen, which again is absolutely huge.
Wow.
I don't know how many people you get around there, but
That's
goodness,
great.
There's probably 18 people. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Massive, yes.
Where are the real Susie and Andy, Phil? What have you done with them?
Of course, you haven't been looking in places like Leatherhead. 18 months later, 150 houses. You know, we have to ask the question, why haven't you found?
Yeah.
And we come to Leatherhead and up pops.
Well, yeah.
Pretty
Because
spectacular
you
house.
obviously get more for your money
Get more
here.
for your money.
I've never really considered Leatherhead, and whenever you drive through it, I just think, ooh,
Yeah.
it's just really. But this house is absolutely fabulous. It does tick all the boxes of what we need for a house.
I wonder if that's the sort of heart of the problem, is that you're looking for an area and Andy's looking for a house, and the two just don't. But
No,
you know.
I think you're absolutely right. I don't know. We will have to. One of us is going to have to compromise.
I'm glad I'm not in your marriage.
I can't believe he just said that. But I know the signs of a pip at the end of his tether.
Thought-provoking?
It's all the things that we like in a house. You know, it's really light. It's got nice ceilings. There's, you know, lots of space, big kitchen. You know, lots of room for us and lots of room for my father. So yeah, I mean,
I'm not seeing a lot of passion in your faces, though.
I think the location and Andy in particular, the traffic noise.
Don't like the idea that you open the door and you get this immediate noise. So that could be a compromise for us.
Go on, compromise on something. Compromise on the location, the road noise, anything. I dare you. I double dare you.
That is the sound that the bulldozers are going to make when they knock their house down in 6 months' time, because they can't make a decision. The problem, I don't know why I'm smiling, because we have a problem. They have a serious problem. He's looking for a house and she's looking for an area, and never the two will meet. They've spent 1.5 years and 150 viewings trying to make it work, and it doesn't. They both need to compromise on both those elements, otherwise. We're searching in Surrey for two couples facing the age-old conundrum.
The perfect house, the perfect location. If you can't have both, which do you go for?
I wonder.
My 3-year-old could answer that question, Phil.
Well, he's not here, so Sam and Jess are relying on us.
They were worried by the part of Farncombe that the first house was in.
Something that puts me off is how close we are really to the road.
But my second property scored really highly in terms of space.
Wow. Really, really nice.
And I think this one will win hands down on location. It's in the pretty historic town of Hazelmere, and it's the most rural of the lot. Exactly what they asked for.
OK, Petals, what are your impressions of the area?
I think in Hazelmere we're that much further out and
Yeah.
away from everything. I mean, it's longer on the train, it's going to be longer for you. But actually, we quite like that, don't we?
And the location is really nice.
It's so green.
I think from the
Floor's
outside
nice.
and from this room, I think the house is going to be described as a bit cosy,
Mm-hmm.
don't you?
Well, the thing is, this is the only house in this stretch which hasn't extended out the back.
Right.
So you would want to extend out the back. There's a couple of permissions and various things you'd have to overcome, but no biggies.
Sam's always been more concerned than Jess about doing work, but they could end up with the house that's got the right location and all the space they want. There are 2 good-sized doubles already, and it's on the market for $239,950. So if we get a decent deal, they'd have a bit left over for the extension.
Nice kitchen.
Sweet little kitchen.
Oh, God, if I hear you say sweet and little... one more
OK,
time.
OK, but it's really nice.
If you imagine this kitchen built out as far as that white bit there, even a bit further,
Yeah.
that would be big.
It would be big.
Still wouldn't be as big as the one we've just come from.
I think it is definitely down to the location on this one.
Yeah.
And compromising
We love
on the
Hazelmere.
size.
Yep.
Well, this one seems to be firmly in the running already. Sam was right to want to see it before making a commitment.
So up here we have a loft conversion.
Now, this is
nice.
what I wanted to see.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things about this house that we like, particularly the location, particularly the fact that it's near the train station. The garden seems really lovely.
What's your gut saying?
Here, for practicalities.
So you think this is the better of the two houses?
I do, but it's just so hard. I kind of am I'm really stuck, actually.
Yeah.
I think that everything really that we've wanted for a first-time home
is in both, kind of, isn't it?
This is the classic space versus location argument right enough. But which way will they jump?
Either way, it's happy days for me. 2 houses in the running, 2 happy house hunters. No problems at all here.
I have got problems.
What can I bring to the party?
You can try and encourage them to accept that the house that Andy wants does not fit with the area that Susie wants. It doesn't go together.
I promise you I will have a chat with Susie, I swear. OK? That's all I can do.
OK. Yeah, no, that's all I'm hoping you'll do.
OK.
Have one of your chats.
I know you really mean that in a nice way.
I do mean it in a nice way. I need some help.
We need to test Susie on how much she'll put up with to get the right location. She's got her heart set on a rural idyll, which this one offers.
It's on the edge of the village of Whitley and doubles the journey time to Andy's work and to the kids' schools. So it'd mean huge compromises for the rest of the family. Is it worth it?
This makes me feel so much more peaceful and calmer. And this just feels like, oh, I'm home.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit stretched. Susie's feeling released. I'm feeling a bit stretched.
So we've got comfort zone.
Yeah.
Slightly out of comfort zone.
No, we totally understand there's a compromise somewhere. It's just a question of which one it is. Yeah.
Who's gonna blink first?
Yeah, we'll come back to you on that one.
Come on, then. We'll have a look round.
Okie doke.
And there's a lot to look at. For £925,000, they get 6 bedrooms, acres of downstairs space, and loads of options for Susie's dad.
But actually, this house is only ever going to be about one thing.
It's all about whether the location works for you, because actually the house is, to a certain extent, irrelevant.
I think that's right. And I mean, I could definitely see that we could make this into a nice family home. My concern is how Andy would feel about living here. I'm being probably very selfish wanting to live in the country.
I would love to live in the country. I was born and brought up in the country, love to live in the country all the time. Actually, my practical needs mean that I have to live in London.
Getting up earlier, getting home later, seeing less of the family, spending a long time in the car, none of those things appeal. But what does appeal is having a happy family. My concern is, does all that stuff compensate for all the things that I'm going to have to put up with, and the fact that I'm going to see much less of them. But, you know, what I've accepted is that I'm probably going to be the compromiser in all this, so I'm just going to have to work with that.
I don't think it's selfish at all. I think the problem is that it's an age-old dilemma, and it seems to me that you'll probably end up giving up what you want.
I think I'd do that if we can tick all the boxes for the other 4 people in the family.
How do you think Susie's dad, and it's a question that we must pose to him, but how do you think he will deal with living here?
He has said, you know, in the house where we're living right now, rented house, he has said he feels a bit like he's living on the moon sometimes. This will be much more isolated, it'll be darker.
This is where Susie dreams of being.
Indeed, she does. You're right.
I mean, yet she's saying, look, what's important is that Dad is happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Phil is up that creek without that paddle, isn't he? I'm so glad I'm not in charge of this. I'm really sorry, I could not empathise more with your situation. I'm really glad you're not my problem.
And I'm really glad I'm not Susie, because she will be the one who ends up compromising. For Andy to take on a longer commute would be too big a sacrifice for the rest of the family.
So what gems did you learn?
Susie's prepared to give up all her requirements because it's not possible.
Come on.
Yes, it's not possible.
I asked you for
to make 5
some
people
help.
happy.
That's
Far too
Beyond the call of duty, I know. Don't you just love me?
Not being in the right place is the biggest thing for you, because I think it's a long commute.
Yeah, it does feel like a long way out.
I think it's an hour and a half commute for you.
I came here to help. I shall go away confident that I did that.
You did. Full marks, thank you.
I'm a saint, did you know that?
I should never say things like that, should I? OK, so are we all now agreed that we're going to bury the country, rural patch?
I think sadly we will. Yeah.
And we're going to come out tomorrow with clear heads, decisive minds.
New vision.
They may be ruling out this house, but it has helped to get the idea of rural life out of Susie's system.
See, I told you I would help.
Oh, I've always loved you. Thanks. I'm off.
It's the last day of my search for Susie and Andy, and I'm cutting it fine, but I think they are genuinely ready to compromise and move on.
The sun has come out in support, and we're back to within spitting distance of Cobham, where they've always wanted to be.
Just down the road, Purford has many of Cobham's charms, but it's much smaller and much cheaper, so they stand to get masses more house.
Do you know, we've never actually looked in Purford. And the thing that I like about Purford is that we've got the river and there's countryside, so we can go running and cycling and all that stuff, you know, much closer than, say, Leatherhead.
Yeah. Having stepped back into suburbia, you can hear a bit of road noise here.
Compromise is the word of the day.
Yeah.
He's learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling positive.
Good. Come on then.
This enormous 4,000 square foot house offers 4 reception rooms, 5 bedrooms, 2 en-suites, and the biggest utility room I think I've ever seen. It's a 70s house, and I bet my house they wouldn't even have looked at it a week ago. We've heard a lot about the C word, but now I finally believe they mean it.
Have you seen houses of this vintage in the past?
Yeah, but not as attractive as this.
This is probably the nicest of that vintage we've seen, yeah. Yeah, I would say.
Cool. Good positive vibe then.
Yeah.
Looking good, Phil. I'd keep bowling them over if I was you.
I kind of saw this room as casual family den, playroom.
Yeah.
Like this.
OK. Now, this is currently the utility room, which is bigger than most people's kitchens.
Yeah. OK.
Wow. Probably could be used better.
Daddy's room.
Well, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Happiness?
Yep, happiness.
Let's keep going. Now, up on this level, we've got 6 bedrooms and a living room.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is gorgeous, isn't it? I love that window. I think it's perfect.
Perfect.
Many levels.
Really, Susie? Did I hear
carried
that correctly?
Can
Can you say that again? Andy?
Yeah, I'd like to. I obviously want to see the rest, but so far it looks really good, yes. Yeah,
Cool.
really good.
And that's high praise from him.
High praise from me.
Help yourself.
OK.
Perfection in Purford. Now that's a P word I can never get enough of.
I don't know what to say. Absolutely speechless. If I pull this off, I will be gobsmacked. I'm absolutely delighted for them.
I think this is lovely. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
This is much better.
This could be really good.
And Susie is ready to make all sorts of compromises.
And also, I mean, it isn't the greatest postcode, is it? But
It's
you know
not the
what?
greatest postcode, no.
God, Andy, I just don't care anymore.
Well, you two look very different today.
The sun's shining, and it's
And we've seen a great house.
At last.
Yeah, well done. You see, you've done your work.
I left it to the last moment, though, didn't I? And that was not deliberate by any stretch of the imagination.
No, because you've put me through sleepless nights.
You put me through sleepless nights. It's only fair.
And my troubles may not be over yet. I've sold it to Susie, but I don't think Andy's quite there.
Back in Hazelmere, the Victorian cottage has won out, and everyone is firmly on board.
The sun is shining on your little house today.
It is.
It does look really nice, doesn't it?
It does.
It's lovely, very nice.
I think it just confirms how we feel about it, doesn't it, really?
Right. Should we get in then?
Yes.
Okay. This is the point at which I am allowed to say, what are you sitting down for?
You're getting comfortable.
Yeah, no, I haven't bought it yet. If this is the one for you, let's view it really objectively now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, I agree. Yeah.
Okey-doke.
First things first, there's the small matter of the extension.
Right, so there's your kitchen, here's your garden. This will be your kitchen.
Yeah.
Basically, it would be around 20 for the extension and then the kitchen on top of that.
Right, OK.
Do you think you're up for managing that kind of thing?
Definitely up for managing that kind of thing.
That's your project.
Yeah, I think that would be my baby. But totally up for it.
This house has stolen their hearts, now it's overcoming their nerves.
This is the bit I really like.
I love this bit.
Yeah.
This is the one, isn't it?
I think so.
Definitely.
I think we've both got very good feelings from probably the first time that we saw it.
We love it.
We'd better get ourselves off to a local hostelry for one of those chats.
We are a very sober bunch.
We are a sober bunch.
Look at that. You can tell Phil Spencer isn't anywhere in the vicinity, can't you? Serious drinks.
And this is going to be a seriously tricky negotiation. The chain above this property is stalled, so I'm worried that any offer less than the asking price of $239,950 will be refused and left hanging for any other interested buyers to have a pop at. The girls are going to need nerves of steel to secure this house for their budget.
We definitely don't want to go higher than 230.
OK, so
But we don't want to miss out at the same time.
can decide whether you want it so much you'll pay 235, which I suspect will get it removed from the market. But there's no guarantee of that, but I'm pretty sure. Or they might accept 230.
Yeah.
There is always that small possibility that they might accept 230. And if you don't offer it, you won't know.
It's tricky stuff, and there's no easy answer.
Third option is not to offer at all.
Sam and Jess desperately want to secure the Victorian cottage I showed them in Hazelmere, but with the vendor in no hurry to accept offers, I think they should keep their powder dry and hold off on offering for now.
Meanwhile, after a year and a half and more than 150 properties, Susie and Andy seem to be bowled over by the massive modern house I showed them in Purford. Could this be it?
I think we're looking at. We might be looking at the end of the journey, Phil. We have to. As far as Susie's concerned, we've reached the end of the journey. I need to sleep on it.
I'll be really, really relieved if it is. It will just be such a weight off my mind. I might actually sleep for the first time in 18 months.
Where to go from here? Obviously, your father needs to have a look.
Yeah.
And Theo and Poppy need to have a look before any firm decision, and Andy needs to sleep on it.
We promise you an answer tomorrow. Guarantee.
I've got one answer.
What a change in Susie and Andy. It looks like it's all changed for Sam and Jess too. Even though they're incredibly keen to buy the house I showed them in Hazelmere, I'm suggesting that because the vendors are not ready to move and therefore not in a position to accept an offer, they should hold off for now.
I feel like I want to go for it.
What, 235? You want to go for 230 and then see if they reject it? I think they're going to reject it.
Yeah, I think they will, but...
Then what?
Sam
Yeah,
wants to go at 235. Really secretly, not that secretly, Sam just wants to offer at 235, get it off the market and breathe a sigh of relief.
Do you?
I'll be a bit disappointed, I think.
I know
if we
you
don't get
will.
it that
I
way.
know you will.
I wasn't expecting that. It seems that once Sam decides what she wants, she's fearless. And now Jess has become Captain Sensible.
I think we're going to have a little think about it, maybe overnight.
Can I ring the agent now and just say to him, we're thinking?
Yeah, let's hear what he's got to say.
They really, really, really want that house. But in a poker sense, they just don't want to, they've only got one hand to play and they don't want to play it too early when your client isn't in a position to accept it. Believe me, it won't be a case of letting them know, Franco. They're going to be your new best friends.
After holding out for 2 weeks, Sam and Jess tried their hand with a cheeky offer of £230,000, which was accepted, much to their surprise and delight.
When we move in, we plan to have a big party to celebrate
Most important.
that we're actually in the house. We've got it at the right price. It's exactly what we imagined our first home to be.
But there is a catch. The vendors still haven't found a place to move to, and until they do, Sam and Jess have to play the waiting game in their rented flat.
It's taking a lot longer than we expected.
Yeah, we wish things would just move a bit quicker.
I think it's a slow process, but I think it will happen.
Yep.
So our first-time buyers got their dream first house and decided it's worth the wait. While things have moved on apace with Susie and Andy.
They showed the rest of the family the perfect house that very day, and everybody loved it. But a couple of days after our search ended, a new property appeared fresh on the market in Cobham, their perfect location, and everything changed.
A couple of days after we saw the last house with Phil and Kirstie, Susie rang me at work and said, I found a house which might really work. It's got all the space, it's got the room for her father, it's got a decent garden, it's in the right kind of place, and I just said to her on the phone, why don't we make an offer? In fact, we made an offer without, I hadn't even seen it.
No one has seen it other than me.
Yeah, Susie, so we all trusted Susie, and she was spot on.
This week, we're in the home counties, helping two couples with very different budgets, circumstances and outlooks.
But they do have one thing in common. Their searches have become seemingly endless, and it's our job to sort them out.
Beautiful countryside, top-notch property stock and excellent schools, all within spitting distance of the capital. It doesn't take a genius to see why the home counties are so popular. So popular, in fact, that house prices in this week's search areas are more than 40% over the national average.
So that's why I'm coming to the rescue of Sarah and Ian Morgan Freeman. They run a successful marketing agency together, and all is fine with their lives, apart from the fact they've sold the house they loved, a fine Victorian property in Hedgerley, Buckinghamshire.
It's the most perfect house we'd ever imagined. It had a really big heart.
The arrival of their son Samuel kicked off the hunt for a bigger house. But after 3.5 years of searching and 90 viewings, it's all got a bit obsessional. Even with £1 million to spend, nothing has ever quite matched up to their beloved ex-home.
I think we're very clear-minded about what we want. You could call that picky.
I wouldn't use the word picky. I'd say focus with a shared attention to detail.
There's the sound of a marketing man. Sarah and Ian have been stuck in rented for nearly 2 years and have now accepted they need some help.
Tell me about the house in Hedgeley.
We got married in the church behind the house. We had our reception in the field next to the house. Samuel was born in that house. So it's a house with a lovely heart.
Finding a house for you this week that you're going to walk in and love with all of the passion that you used to love, the one that was such a happy house for you, is going to be extremely difficult.
We're still hopeful. I believe it can happen.
I think it can. I think it's just about a feeling.
I'm quite nervous about the sight of this book and
my little scrapbook.
My dream home, inspirational ideas.
Yeah. I guess it's having been looking for our dream house for so long, what we've done is we've seen a lot of houses or pictures that kind of are inspirational to us, and kind of capture what we're trying to create and find.
Let's just talk about the things that are most important to you in the house.
It needs to have a feeling of space, light and space. 4 bedrooms, preferably an ensuite. Home office.
A home office would be great.
4 bedrooms and an office.
Ideally. Then there is this other little sort of bolt-on, which is the possibility of having an annex for my mum, who's nearly 80.
That's a very extensive list of requirements.
We don't want to compromise too much, because...
You know you're going to somewhere along the line. It's just a
Not
question
necessarily.
of what time.
I still believe that it is all out there.
That's why they've been looking for 3.5 years. Their other slight problem is a search area that just happens to be in 2 of the most expensive counties in England, Berkshire and Buckinghamshire. Their wish list is getting my heart racing as well, but for all the wrong reasons. They want a 4-bedroom character property.
With a sizable office and a granny annex. It should be semi-rural.
Oh, and it's also got to have a heart and a special feeling. Just excuse me while I have a quick lie down.
Well, if it's any consolation, my search in Hertfordshire is equally tricky. For IT engineer Daniel Kenoy and his partner Louise Redding, everything's in a bit of a muddle. They're both nearly 30, but still living with their parents, his during the week and hers at the weekends, and their belongings get shuffled on a regular basis.
It's not ideal.
Our life's up in the air really at the minute.
I think we both feel like we're a bit in limbo and we're not settled, are we? Just a bit unsettled.
9 months ago, they sold their small house in Stevenage to look for somewhere bigger. They're desperate to get married and have children, but the house must come first. With £245,000, Louise wants to set up home near her parents in Ware, an attractive historical town just 25 miles from London. Daniel, on the other hand, would like to find somewhere cheaper.
I'm more for location, whereas Daniel's more for the size of the property, regardless of location. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah.
They've viewed 30 properties in 9 months and they're no nearer to resolving their differences.
To compound the problem, Daniel's used to calling his own shots as manager of local football team Barton Rovers.
It does take up a huge amount of time, but, you know, it's something that I love.
Time to love something else, Dan. They're both well into extra time with this property search and I have one task: get them out of Mum and Dad's.
Your family are in Ware, Louise. You want to be as close to home as possible.
Yes.
And this is where our stumbling block is. I'm willing to explore all avenues and all areas for the right house.
I mean, I'm presuming you're thinking about saving up for a wedding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously that's something.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
want to
this
do
is
as
the
well.
first step before marriage and kids, and that can happen because we haven't got home together.
My experience is that men compromise more than women on house purchases, because even if both parties are working, they do think, oh, actually, she minds more about the actual house. And,
I agree.
And Daniel's shaking his head again. But that is my experience.
So it's a small house in expensive Ware or a larger house elsewhere. I've got £245,000 to play with, and for that, Dan and Louise want a 3-bedroomed house big enough for their future family.
They don't mind doing a bit of work to it, so long as it's got off-street parking and a decent-sized garden.
Sounds simple, doesn't it?
I'm going to hold my hands up. I am not qualified to help Ian and Sarah.
That's quite a statement. Why?
I would need a medical qualification. I do think they need therapy. I've never met a couple.
You look quite sexy in a white coat, Phil.
I've never met a couple who are so transfixed on the house that they've sold years ago that that's actually stopping them move forward and choosing another one. How about Dan and Louise?
Louise thinks she can live in Ware. She can't live in Ware. I've got to persuade her of that. Once she realises that, we'll go and find her house somewhere else.
And you can't just tell her. You'll have to show her.
Yeah. It's show and tell. I think that's what we need.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
That doesn't strike me as a good deal. Back to the matter in hand, I think.
We've got a cool £1 million to find that elusive house with a heart for Sarah and Ian around Buckinghamshire and Berkshire.
And a tight 245 grand to find a place that will keep both Dan and Louise happy in Hertfordshire.
The property market might be getting some momentum back into it, but people are still hedging their bets when it comes to putting their houses up for sale. That means any plum properties are being snapped up quickly. But I'm kicking off with a corker for Sarah and Ian in Cookham Dean, a hugely sought-after village and one of their favourite locations.
This is the first up, specifically chosen for the location. First reaction to the house?
It looks very attractive.
Good.
This property has pretty much everything on their wish list. 4 bedrooms, 2 reception rooms, a high-spec kitchen and an amazing annex that would work as a granny flat or somewhere to run their business from. This impressive property sits nicely on 1/3 of an acre. It is over their £1 million budget, but our reliable sources tell us that it's about to be reduced in price.
Now, the house is built 9 years ago. I think it's a lovely family house for a contemporary way of living.
Yeah.
The balance and the flow of it, I think, is excellent. And then leading through into the kitchen, which is, again, very modern and contemporary.
Oh, it's lovely, yeah. No, this is lovely. I think it would definitely go in my book, in my scrapbook. It's...
Well, it is?
Yes!
Whoa! We got a kitchen so far.
Way to go!
It's light, it's spacious, and it's great family living, and yeah, I love it.
And how's it working in terms of the heart and soul?
I'd say there's more of a soul in this part of the house than there is in that part of the house. I suppose my concern is, again, as much as this is a gorgeous room, and I do love the kitchen, is that I'm looking outside to the garden and it's looking small.
If that is the issue, we'll tackle that right now.
Okay.
Come on out, see what you think. So they've spent a fair bit of money sort of landscaping it.
Okay.
Yep.
Into different entertaining areas. You've got this one, you've got one over there.
It's beautifully done, and I can see the landscaping, the attention to detail has been amazing. I'm just a bit concerned that the house feels a bit like it's sunk into the hill.
Yeah, and it's a compromise that I wouldn't be prepared to make.
Fine. My compromise for this house was budget.
Oh, OK.
£1,150,000.
If it was £200,000 less, I still wouldn't compromise on the plot.
OK.
Ooh, that hurts. But I think there's still a chance to redeem myself. After all, it does have a lot going for it.
Separate entrance.
I like this.
Has to be one of the best home offices I've ever
This is stunning.
This is beautiful. This is really nice.
OK. So now I understand compromise, because this is fantastic. I don't get that.
Why don't you guys just have a bit of time together? Explore the bedrooms yourselves. That's if Ian is interested in it.
I'm open to look upstairs.
OK.
Might they be starting to feel the love?
It starts to be a bit small.
Yeah, it's not as much space upstairs as I thought there would be. Doesn't work for me at the moment. Doesn't work for me.
Maybe not.
You've had a good look round upstairs?
Yep, we have.
Gathered your thoughts?
Yep.
Are they combined?
Yeah.
We agree on upstairs, yeah.
So it's felt a little bit small.
Not quite there yet.
Sounds like it's quite a long way off. Oh dear. Bedrooms are too small, gardens too small, and yet it's too expensive. Doesn't quite tally up, does it?
This week, we're in the home counties with two couples who want to buy homes of their own.
But no matter what the budget, the perfect property always seems to be that little bit more.
It does, doesn't it?
Dan and Louise are back living with their parents and can't agree where to buy their new house. Louise will only live in Ware in Hertfordshire, close to her family, and Dan just wants the biggest house he can get for his money. Anywhere. They've got 245 grand, and for their budget, this two-bed mid-terraced is the best property we've found in Ware. So everything's simple. They either live here or resort to Dan's plan.
OK, both of you are looking suicidal. This is not a good start.
It's a terraced.
Yes.
Which kind of makes me think it's going to be quite small and pokey inside.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a two-bedroom?
Yeah, currently, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's go in.
Yep.
You come into the front room at least.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
And then we'll see how it goes.
This viewing is all about what Louise is prepared to give up to be close to her family in Ware. However, the two double bedrooms are charming. The sitting room is a good size, as is the garden. Plus, there's opportunity to extend if they have more than one child, and given that it's on the market for nearly $230,000, they'll have $15,000 to put towards the cost.
A house like this would get you into Ware, onto the Ware property ladder. There are other houses in the street which have extended to give you the third bedroom and the upstairs bathroom and a larger kitchen at a cost of approximately £25,000.
Location-wise, you've hit the nail on the head.
Definitely.
For what Louise wants.
I like the location, but in terms of house size, I think it's too much of a compromise.
This house is what you can afford in where?
Tough love is always the best policy.
Your fear was that it would have a small garden. How does this rate?
This is small.
Okay. I mean, am I wrong in thinking that the principal reason to be in where is childcare?
No, yeah.
Not
number one.
Number one, exactly. That is my quandary at the moment, is gauging how strong the need to be in where is.
For the type of money that we've got, you know, stretching ourselves every month to make, you know, those mortgage payments, you know, and it'd always feel like a compromise in a house this size that you're kind of thinking, why am I stretching myself every month for something that I'm not entirely happy in?
Oh dear. If they can't agree on this, they're destined to live out their days in their parents' spare room.
What did you think of the kitchen?
It's quite small.
Yeah, it's quite small.
It's got a downstairs bathroom as well, which
This
obviously
must
means
be
there's
bedroom
not one
number
upstairs.
2.
It is a typical 2 up, 2 down house, though, isn't it? It does tick some boxes, but just not enough for me.
No.
I couldn't be more sympathetic. But this is a chat they should have had before. I'm here to find them a house. And if I'm too sympathetic, it'll stop me being tough enough to force them to see the realities of the situation.
They simply don't have enough money to find the family house they want in this area. For Dan, this is a no-brainer, but I don't think Louise has accepted it yet.
OK, guys. That's a no, obviously.
Yes.
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah. Can I look further afield?
I'm open to location. I think Louise is probably within reason.
OK. OK. Right. Not sure whether we've reached a conclusion yet, but we'll plough on.
It's all getting a bit awkward, and I'm pretty sure it's not my fault.
Don't want a word from you. Not a word.
I had a low moment.
Did you? Yeah. What, with £1 million budget? Oh, dear.
Well, he said to me if this house was 200 grand cheaper, it still wouldn't be right.
Oh, OK.
That's a low moment.
Yeah, that is a low
with
moment.
£1 million budget.
Yeah.
So I am sensing trickiness.
OK.
I'm sensing pickiness, stickiness, and everything else-ness that I don't particularly like just at the moment.
Yeah. No, I had no, no and no. The problem is they want to be in where, they can't afford to be in where. I showed them what they could afford in where, and it was like, oh, it's way too small.
There's compromises as ever.
I know. I compromise on a daily basis.
Shut up. I know exactly what you meant with that. Moving on, this time to Chesham, a delightful market town in Buckinghamshire. Ian and Sarah sold their much-loved house, and they've spent the last 3.5 years trying to find somewhere that has as much heart. It definitely wasn't beating in the first place we showed them, but I can hear it loud and clear in this stunning Grade 2 listed Georgian property. Yes, there is a bit of road noise, but I think the house itself will make up for it. This is all the same property.
OK.
This is possibly one of the most charming houses I've ever seen. It has one downside, which we've just walked along. Yeah. It has a carport with electric doors that you drive straight in and you get out the car. You never stand out there.
I think it would only be carol singers and things that would use the front door.
Apart from that, it's a dream.
Let's just get your reactions to the position of the house.
Nervous.
Nervous.
Only because
Concerned.
with a 5-year-old.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that.
But of course you walk in here and this picture probably is in my book.
You know, when I first came in here, I thought the same.
Yes, no, it is.
And so I don't know, but nervous.
My advice, just lock the front door, because this place does have a drawing room, a dining room, a study, a huge kitchen, 5 double bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a garage, an outbuilding ripe for conversion, all set in a beautiful garden.
I'll be very interested to see how this one balances out, because again, we've had to take them slightly over budget at 1.1 million.
Oh my gosh. It's beautiful.
It's a gorgeous kitchen.
That's the joy of this house.
We talked a lot this morning about heart, and that was so central to what you're looking to achieve. Is it here?
Yes, it has got a great heart. I want to see some more of it, please.
OK, well, I'll take Sarah upstairs.
Ian, why don't you and I look out the garden? I know that's important to you.
That'd be great.
The garden is 1/3 of an acre.
OK. It's got a lovely formal start to it.
In here is an old stable.
It's great. I'm not sure whether it'd be large enough for an annex, although saying that, it'd be a great size for a home office.
I just find myself like a stuck record about this house.
Yes.
Everything. It's just sitting here admiring that old built-in cupboard in the fireplace. And it just works.
It's beautiful. I mean, there's just no contest. It's got so much character, so much heritage. It's just beautiful.
You can see why I wasn't exaggerating when I said it was one of the most charming houses I've seen.
Absolutely.
So what do you reckon to it then, Ian? Pretty sizable garden.
It's a good size.
It's delivering.
It is delivering. I suppose my slight concern is it rural enough with all sides, you know, the property and the garden surrounded by either other gardens or other properties.
Sure.
Well, I can't deny it is in the middle of Chesham, but to get a house of this quality surrounded by fields, we're talking at least another 200 grand, which they don't have.
It's either going to really grab you and say, take me, I'm yours, or it's not.
Such a beautiful house. If anything did go wrong and we're pushed right to the nth degree, we might not have funds to be able to lovingly cherish it like it deserves.
Often I show these houses to clients and then they end up not buying them because, for that very reason, is that they're slightly scared of them.
Yeah.
And I always think, oh, at this time I really want someone to buy the beautiful house.
There's so much about it that ticks the boxes. You know, interior-wise, it's beautiful.
There's some buts. Yeah, there's some buts. There's a budget butt. There's a semi-rural butt. There's also, it doesn't join up brilliantly.
Oh, dearie me, I'm struggling. It just feels that he's concentrating on the negatives rather than looking at how, all the things that it does.
All I can say is that something's missing. We are missing something. It may be staring us in the face, but there is something we're not getting about this move.
So then, what's it to be?
It sounds to me like it's a maybe from Sarah, but a no from Ian.
If push came to shove, I'll go for a no.
Okie doke. Shall we leave this one?
Yep.
OK.
Bye-bye, lovely house.
Bye-bye, lovely house.
I feel a bit sorry for Sarah, because I think she really liked this house. But for Ian, it still wasn't as good as their old place, and that's our problem.
A new morning and I'm back with Dan and Louise. I'm hoping they've had a good old chat about exactly where they want to live, because I don't want any more of that uncomfortable atmosphere we had yesterday. We're in Standon, only 15 minutes from Louise's beloved Ware, a happy compromise where you get more for your money.
So here we are, off-street parking, 3 beds, end of terrace.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Looks a lot bigger than the last one.
A lot bigger than the last one. So do you feel more enthusiasm about going in than you did in the last house?
Definitely.
Yeah,
right.
Much more.
Right, in we go. After you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, this is all a bit jollier, and quite right too. This house has 2 reception rooms, 3 good-sized bedrooms, and a conservatory leading out onto a big garden. It's a bit dated, but at £5,000 under budget, there's a bit of money left over for titivation.
What's your feeling? People say, oh, it's only the first room, it's only the first room, but I do believe in the 11-second rule. I think people make decisions very, very quickly.
I don't know, it's quite hard to say, really. It hasn't got a wow factor, but it's
well
something
kept.
to work with, I
It's
think.
beautifully kept, and that is one of the major things about this house that I really think works for you.
I agree.
If you wanted to retile the kitchen or the bathroom, all these things are things you could do gradually in the summer months, Daniel, when there is no football. So, what we've got here is kitchen and then slightly separate dining area.
Okay.
Right. Kitchen's not a bad size, is it?
No.
Is there anything about it, Louise, which is making your heart sing?
I wouldn't say sing, but then there's nothing about it that I dislike so far.
Just remind me again how long the search has been going on.
9 months.
9 months.
And you're now living with your parents and your parents?
Yes.
Right, enough's enough. With Dan out of the way, it's time to get a decision out of Louise.
Is there singing? Is there a song rising up?
It ticks a lot of the boxes that we're both looking for in a house.
But
Obviously, the only bugbear is the location, but...
What is it going to take to convince you that it's either smaller in Ware or not in Ware at all?
I am open-minded to other areas, and...
I don't think you're convinced.
I think I am. If we can't have Ware, then as a preferred location to... We are both familiar with the Stevenage area. We've lived there for the past 2 years.
Okay.
Commute to work makes sense to...
Be in Stevenage.
Be in Stevenage.
OK, we have progressed.
Good.
We have progressed. So that means if it can't be Ware, it should be Stevenage. Should we fish him out the garden? Break the good news.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's got a lot of potential.
I just don't...
Madam wants Stevenage now. She's
vibe.
accepted that Ware isn't happening and she's going all guns blazing for Stevenage.
Really?
Yep.
Well, if we can't have Ware, then...
You've done well. It only took me 9 months.
Hallelujah, we're back in sensible land. But now we've got to find them somewhere that's worth the sacrifice.
This week I'm with Ian and Sarah, whose search has now spanned 3 counties.
Well, I'm with Louise and Dan, who are less flexible on location, but learning to live with compromise.
I'm struggling to find any property for Ian and Sarah that matches up to the last house they owned. Yes, they've got £1 million, but they want an awful lot for it. In my opinion, too much. Still, I'm quietly hopeful about the place I'm going to show them next. It's in the village of Knoll Hill, just west of Maidenhead. It's a fantastic detached house set in beautiful gardens.
What do you make of the setting and the style?
Good sized house, good sized plot. Setting, I think it's okay.
I like the drive up. I like the way it's sort of the house is set back, and
I can hear the A4 behind me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the compromise.
But on the positive side, this would be most people's dream house. 3 reception rooms, 4 double bedrooms, self-contained granny annex cum office, and the best part, 3/4 of an acre of land, all under budget at $995,000.
Nicely done, Phil.
Come on in. Another pretty impressive hallway.
yeah.
Now, the kitchen... It's not the best room in the house.
No.
Is it doing it for you?
It's not doing it for me.
Oh, come on, you do better than that.
Well, it is a small room for a kitchen, for a house that, externally it looks a very large house. And if a kitchen is the heart of the house, then the house has got a small heart.
It did have planning permission for quite a serious extension. It's just lapsed.
Okay.
But it was for a 2-storey extension to the side and a single storey to the rear. So it would vastly improve this space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on then, let's keep going.
They will almost certainly get that planning permission again. I think it's very important for them to put their mark on a place, and Sarah might even be able to deploy that scrapbook at last.
So I don't think you could wish for more in
No.
terms of square footage.
It's got nice proportions, nice high ceilings, nice light.
Could you see yourselves here?
To make this house to its optimum, for us to really love it,
I think will take quite a bit of investment.
It is a beautiful house. It could be a beautiful home.
Yes.
It's very possible to do.
I can feel it. I could feel it in this house.
Well, at least Sarah's starting to imagine how they'd live in this place, which for now I'll take as progress.
This is nice out here. It's a very handsome house.
Well, Sarah's being pretty positive. Ian's just being Ian. This place could be great. They just got to have the confidence to do the work. It could be fantastic. But you know what? I'm just not getting any buying signals again.
OK.
There's your issue, the noise.
I can hear it from both sides now, obviously.
Trying to find the house that we're trying to find in a rural location without noise, with all the things that we want, maybe we're in the wrong area.
I would have said with 3.5 years of house hunting and 90 rejected properties, perhaps that penny should have dropped a lot earlier.
We know the brief's tough. You know, 1, we were very emotionally attached to our last property. 2, we are looking for a lot now. But I think when you're laying down roots for your family life, you don't compromise.
But the reality is, the restrictions of budget entail compromise. That's life. And there is no point looking for something if it doesn't exist. It's just pointless.
Maybe the compromise that we have to consider is completely shifting area.
So, from here on, can we ignore geographic boundaries?
Yeah.
OK. I think it's time for a...
To show us the perfect property that's just within our reach.
If only it was that simple.
OK, so we've got a whole new search on our hands. But where to look? Well, in my mind, there's only one candidate, Oxfordshire. Here, you keep the high quality of houses, but because it's further from London, you're not paying quite such a premium. After some frantic searching, one house has emerged as a clear front-runner. It's a stunning farmhouse conversion in the pretty village of Dry Sandford, just 6 miles south of Oxford. And it's $125,000 under budget.
First thoughts?
It's a nice finish from outside.
You've done it beautifully.
Yeah, now you can see again, finishing on this is lovely.
I'd love to see inside.
Come on in.
There's nearly 2,500 square foot of living space with a fantastic open-plan kitchen diner and 4 double bedrooms, all finished to the highest of standards.
Outside there's a double garage which is crying out for conversion and half an acre of beautiful gardens. The amazing thing is, in some parts of Buckinghamshire, it would cost over £400,000 more.
In you come through these rather magnificent doors.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Into what I hope you'll think is quite a special house.
This is beautiful.
Lovely kitchen.
It is absolutely beautiful. The guy who lives here is a builder, and he's obviously taken particular care building his own house. I think they've created really sensational, open family living.
Gorgeous space, fabulous. We could live in here, but, you know, if you want the road again. Sorry, chaps, but, you know, that again, the road.
There is a road out there. There's a road outside most houses. I don't think it interrupts life in the house.
I guess this whole process is making us realise quite how spoilt we were in our house in Hedgley. It was a beautiful old house, and we didn't have noise.
Just remind me of how much you sold that 800 square foot for.
£700,000.
OK. This is on the market for $875,000. So for an additional $175,000, you get
Vast amount more.
a vast amount more.
OK.
1,400 square feet more. Maybe this'll be enough to put their last house to bed for good.
There aren't that many houses with annexes and big plots. And please don't take this the wrong way, but over the days that we've spent together, I've seen you both, I think more so Ian, walk into a house and immediately spot the compromise and the niggle.
He tends to see the negatives. I'll go in with the yay. Let's just look for it and let's find it. And somewhere that has worked in the past because we found our house. We were very happy in that.
And you
I have hope.
Managed it.
No, not yet. But you know, people do take a long time sometimes to find their next dream house.
At the end of the day, of course, it's their choice. But I reckon it's not making a decision that would be the regret.
Nice.
OK, this is a good-sized guest room.
Yeah, no, I think all the rooms up here are light, all beautifully done out.
It's double glazing, so actually...
Don't hear the road as much.
Back here, the road's not too bad.
Oh, the bathroom looks lovely.
I'm trying to look for some niggles and problems with the house itself, but the house itself, I really like it.
There's a turnaround. It's Ian being the positive one. To add to his joy, we've also got some quality options for the annex.
So, the crux issue. Double garage. And if you were to want to make it bigger, this is where you'd extend into.
Yeah.
The house is in a green belt, but this garage, annex, workshop, whatever you want to call it, would fall under its rights of permitted development.
Yeah, I think it's beautifully done, so I can see that being quite a nice little project.
So the conclusion is there's pretty much nothing wrong with this place.
Finish is good, the size is good, the layout is good.
In a fantastic budget, actually, I have to say.
Fantastic budget.
It's all sounding very good. Excellent. Great.
You know, obviously we don't know the area that well because it is a new area for us. Initial thoughts are very positive.
No, I think what you've done is opened up a big new opportunity for us.
Well, you opened it up by being happy to come out here and look.
This is my hallelujah moment. After such a breakthrough, I think I deserve a huge pat on the back.
OK, that's enough self-congratulation, Phil. Time for you to hot-foot it back to Hertfordshire so that we can show Dan and Louise our final property. After all the toing and froing, they've managed to agree that Stevenage is the town for them.
Less than half an hour's commute from London, it might not be pretty, but it is practical. And that's why competition is rife for its affordable family houses.
But we've had an early tip-off about this spacious 3-bedroomed semi. Because it needs a bit of TLC, it's on at 205 grand, 40,000 below their budget. So, not surprisingly, I'm eager to show them this house. But as day turns to night, we have a slight problem. Reliable old Phil is caught in traffic.
Why are we waiting? We're waiting for Phil Spencer. I'm fiddling with my lipstick, which is a really bad sign, and he knows that. This is my special James Bond lipstick with the poisoned tip.
Poor Dan and Louise have resorted to looking around the area at night, while I just get very bored.
Ah, there you are.
It's all quiet here.
It's very quiet. What sort of time do you call this?
Rush hour.
It's not rush hour. You haven't rushed anywhere.
It's probably
You're
after
an hour
rush
and a
hour.
half late.
Yeah.
You're looking for a loo, aren't you?
There's no loo.
No, but there is in here.
Without a loo.
OK, compose yourself. There's work to be done.
Hi, you two.
Hiya.
Hello.
Sorry, it's entirely my fault. Kept you waiting.
No problem.
But Kirstie tells me it's a lovely house with a great garden.
Yeah. It's a lovely house with a great garden. Can you see it?
Yes.
It's a semi, as requested.
We like semis.
With a garage, as requested, and off-street parking, as
Yeah,
requested.
don't lay it on too thick. Because you've been like this all week.
Come on, let's get in. You can't see anything out here.
Am I forgiven yet?
You'll be fossilised before I forgive you.
I might not know where the loo is, but believe me, I'm up to speed with this one. And I'm in the mood for 2 direct hits in one day.
I could give you a 3rd direct hit if you like.
Well, as you can see immediately, it's been lived in by an elderly person. It's actually a probate sale.
Right.
And it's on the market at 205,000.
Try me.
And this is a huge sitting room.
That figure obviously gives us a lot of room to play with in terms of putting a stamp on the property.
And what do you make of it, Louise?
First impressions, this room's a nice size, just really needs a bit of updating.
Yeah.
We can both see past that, can't we?
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have a to-do list.
I think you might have a couple.
Yes.
So up here, Louise, you've got bathroom, loo, 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. You were very good in the last house, Louise. You just said, right, that's it, OK, we can't buy and where, it'll be Stevenage then.
It's hard, but at the end of the day, sometimes you have to be a bit practical about things.
Do you look at this house and feel more positive?
I think so far.
Well, Daniel, a bit more work to do.
Yep, it's a good size, that's the main thing.
Well, I think we can make it quite a bit bigger because you take this wall out.
Okay.
And open it up into here.
We've already had a builder look round. Knocking down the wall, rewiring and putting in new units would cost around 12 grand. Well within that 40,000 they'd have left over from the asking price.
If I'm honest, probably Louise would probably struggle to live in it and do the work at the same time.
Yeah.
As long as our parents are kind of up for it, that we can live still at their place while work in progress kind of thing here. So that may swing it.
Look, why don't you go and see what the other half thinks?
Okay.
I should probably do the same. Mind you, I might get a smack today, so maybe I won't.
It's a nice size.
It is actually, isn't it? So what do you think?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a lot of work. A lot of work, though.
How you doing up there?
It's a big house. It's got a lot of potential, definitely.
Potential that you'd be happy to explore?
I think I'd like to sleep on it.
Yeah, so there's a lot to take in, and it's whether we're up for the challenge, who we can rope in to help.
Yeah.
If we take it on.
Well, don't expect any help from Phil Spencer now if you want the job done on time.
Come on, I'll buy you all a drink.
You go first, then. Check he's got his wallet, Daniel. I've heard that before.
What was that about 2 direct hits? I think I've had a pretty good day.
Well, let's see what tomorrow brings, hey? Dan and Louise have had a good night's sleep and time to mull over the pros and cons of this 3-bed semi in Stevenage. And this time they get to see the garden in all its daylight glory. At £205,000, it's the biggest and cheapest place we've seen. I think it's the one they should go for.
I'm pleased to be back. What about you two?
I agree with you. It is a good house. It's just the magnitude of work. And we were kind of trying to put properties that we'd seen in and around this area in a kind of top 3, top 5 scenario. And it did come in the top 5.
Yeah. Top 5?
It did come in the top 5.
Wasn't even in the top 3.
It was close.
I know that those other properties were a lot more expensive, and I sense they're risk averse. So, maxing their mortgage is not a good plan.
So this is the garden that you didn't get a chance to see yesterday. What do you think?
It's a good-sized garden.
You don't need to spend a fortune on this house. You know that you can spend up to £245,000, but it doesn't mean you have to spend up to £245,000. What do you want in the house? Is it a big bedroom, big kitchen?
I would say probably a big kitchen with a nice dining area as well.
And if our builder's anything to go by, just £12,000 should be enough to provide Louise with her own domestic heaven.
My feeling is it's on the market at £205,000. Let's say you get it for £200,000 maybe, you never know. But what I don't want you to do is spend more than £220 on it at the end of the day. Go in that house, have a look at that kitchen.
Okay.
I don't want them to beggar themselves to buy a house. They've got their lives, they've got a future family. They need a house which they won't grow out of, which isn't a struggle to keep up.
That's obviously the main shed. Yeah, it'd be useful for some sort of utility room. That wall, I think, only comes back to about there, so that's where the living room wall must end.
So about potentially take that out and...
Yeah, make it a bit more open. But it's not a bad size.
No, it's not.
Right. What do you think?
It's got lots of potential, hasn't it?
Yeah,
There's no getting away from that.
Potential is the key word, I think, for the house.
Do you want to go and have a drink and chat it through?
I think drink's a good idea.
I'm usually pretty good at reading people, but I have to admit I've struggled with Dan and Louise, and I'm just not able to call this one.
At least you're still in with a chance. I, on the other hand, have been blown out completely. Overnight, Sarah and Ian rejected the beautiful house in Oxfordshire. It was one of the best places they've viewed, but given it's in a new area, understandably they want to see what else is out there.
So how are you feeling today?
If this has proved nothing more, it actually has shown us that what we're trying to do is not achievable in the areas we've been looking for. And so, having shown us and tempted us out that bit further, you know, we now have that belief that we can find it, and we're not just blue skying it, we're not just dreaming.
You were dreaming. There was an awful lot of hope.
There was.
There was hope.
And now, looking in Oxfordshire, there is belief.
The fourth property certainly proved that, as you said, because that came well within budget and there were only a few small glitches.
We'd lost our way a little bit, and maybe we're going over the same ground looking for the same things in an area that can't achieve it. So this has really, allowed us to kind of refocus.
There's nothing on the market that's worth us going to see now, and we have put in a vast amount of research.
I think someone once said to me that the toughest paths lead to the best destinations, and I think sometimes, you know, it's been a tough path, it's been a long journey, so, you know, but it's out there, I know it is.
I certainly hope that's true. But 2 months down the line, Sarah and Ian are still searching for their elusive dream home. We left them with a new search area in Oxfordshire, but surprise, surprise, old habits die hard.
The whole sort of search with Phil and Kirstie, what it did was it really brought into focus that we quite like it here.
Well, it's good to see their boundless optimism remains intact. After a brief flirtation with the new area, they're continuing their love affair with their old one and sticking to Buckinghamshire and Berkshire.
We are still very confident that our house is out there and we are going to find the house that we want.
And it will be found in the end.
We wish you all the luck in the world, guys, but you'll have to forgive us if we don't hold our breath. In Hertfordshire, Dan and Louise decided not to offer on the last house we showed them. But thankfully, they did take our advice. They stuck with Stevenage and 4 weeks later found a house to call home. Now they're on the verge of moving in.
We should be in by the end of the month, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
So now we're just spending our weekends looking at home stores, furniture stores.
Yeah, fitting it around football.
Some things never change, Dan, but they're not hanging around. Plans are well underway for a total revamp of the kitchen, if they can agree on what they want to do.
Instead of arguing about finding a house now, we're arguing about what to do with it once we move in. So yeah, I suppose it just brings different challenges, I suppose. But yeah, it's nice, something to look forward to.
Definitely. It's exciting.
They snapped up this great 3-bedroomed house for £250,000 after it was reduced from £275,000. Still, that was £5,000 over their budget. And with the work they want to do to it, they may have to stay in their parents' good books for a little while to come.
We might continue to live at parents for, like, you know, a couple of weeks.
Just while we're getting the painting and the bits and pieces done.
I don't think they know that yet, so...
No. You do now.
But with a place of their own finally in their sights, a bit more time living with the in-laws isn't so bad. Finding the right home will do that to you.